What's up, Fantasy Champions? Spotlight Sports Network is excited to tell you about an amazing deal from Thrive Fantasy, your place for daily fantasy sports and esports. Right now, with promo code SS Network, Thrive Fantasy will match up to $50 of your first deposit. So go to thrivefantasy.com and sign up now with promo code SS Network. That's thrivefantasy.com, promo code SS Network.
Always a raider, bruh. Shit simple as that. You look silver and black. Lot of bread invested in that old line. Car insurance cost the arm and the leg to reach that goal line. It's go time.
What up, 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 what up? What's up, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is the Spotlight Raiders Talk. What is up, nation? What is up? Your boy is in the building. I am back with another Wednesday live stream for y'all. I don't plan on going live stream every day because I want to do a mixture of live streams and uploads at the same time. I know you've been keeping up with the uploads and everything of that nature. So we are going to have my brother from another mother, My City, My Game, aka Raider J77. He will be on here in a little bit, so you do not want to miss that. But I do want to shout out to everybody that's in here so far. So make sure you please come on in, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel. It definitely supports the channel. If you want to become a member of the Spotlight Raiders Talk, the link is in the description. So make sure y'all go and follow and become a member of the Spotlight Raiders Talk. If you want to follow me on Facebook, follow me on Facebook at Spotlight Raiders Talk. Follow me on Twitter at Spotlight Art and Talk. If you want to follow me on Instagram at Spotlight Raiders Talk. We really do appreciate everybody coming in for the love and the support for the Spotlight Raiders Talk channel. And if you want to go over and support my second channel, which is my colleagues over at the Spotlight Sports Network, make sure y'all go over there and shout out to spotlightsportsnetwork.com and go get you some merch as well. We're definitely in here for everything. What's going on, everybody? So we're back live, and I know y'all seen a lot of roster moves, but we're going to get up. We definitely going to get things started right now with everybody saying what's going on right away. He was the first one to comment. What's going on right away? Thank you for coming on to the nation. We really do appreciate that, brother. Dominique 5 said what's good. Jeffrey says what's good. DCR to the second power afternoon Spotlight Raider Nation. What's going on? Aaron says what's up. Jeffrey says from Cali, but I'm repping the nation in North Carolina. Facts. What's going on, Jesse Guerrero? Yo, Spotlight. How's KJ Wright looking in training camp, brother? Well, training camp is not over. I mean, training camp is over. They're actually practicing for week 1 right now. BL Raiders. OG Faye. What's up, OG Faye? What's goody, my guy? How the fans can honestly look at this team and think we stand a chance with how horrible we picked up talent. Joe, I disagree with you there 100%, bro. I disagree with you there. I think we picked up enough talent for us to be better this year. I don't know what you're seeing. I don't know what you're looking at. So, hey, it is what it is. That's your opinion. Our draft picks has been a joke and a complete embarrassment. How would you know with the coaching staff that Jetty had the last couple of years? The coaching staff stink. You just can't blame the players. You got to blame the coaching too. What's up, Spotlight? What's going on? What's going on? New K6, what's going on? Raider Miacho, if I said that correctly. What's going on, my guy? What's going on, Ed Dryer Raider, if I said that wrong? Jeffrey said, Joe, you talking nonsense. Every Raiders fan know how excited about the season, just waiting to see how the players do. Fact. So Joe said, John is trying to find a piece to a team together to cast off vets. Every other team has more than talent than they do. I disagree. My thing is this: you have to mix young guys with vets. You have to. No matter what, you always got to mix vets with young talent. That's for any sport. That's for baseball, that's for basketball, that's for hockey, and that's for football. Every 4 major league sports, you're not going to win a game with just young players. You're not going to win championship with just young players. Look at Tom Brady. Look at Ndamukong Suh over in Tampa Bay. Look at those guys. They got a mixture of vets and they got a mixture of young guys they got in the draft. It's a big difference. But nothing but all love, Raider Nation. Vince, what's going on? What's up with Incognito? I haven't heard anything about Incognito just yet. Just here for the comments. What's up? What's going on, everybody? Shout out to everybody if I can't get to everybody. Water King Anonymous, what's up? Raider McClaw, I can't wait to see what we look like Monday night. I can't wait either. Incognito has not practiced over a month due to 38 great depth on the defensive line, huh? Joe Great, if you're a Raiders hater, bro, you can leave the chat. For real. If you're a Raiders hater, leave the chat, bro. Leave the chat. Because we're not here for that negative stuff. We winning Monday night, with or without you. What's going on, Toxic Falcons? What's going on? Cuban Raider, what's going on? What's up, everybody? To Miguel Ruiz, OG Fade, Joe Grant, he's look at the draft. Well, it doesn't matter. We can't think about everybody else. That's the problem with you, Joe. You're thinking about everybody else's team besides ours. Muse is on the practice squad for the Seattle Seahawks. He's no longer with us. He's no longer with us. Hold on, y'all. My guest is coming on right now, so just give me a second. Because my guest is coming on. Just give me 1 minute here. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to get my guest on here as we speak. So we can't worry about no other team, bro. We cannot worry about no other team, bro. Like, I don't know what Joe Grant is doing, but he could leave the chat for all I care. But what's up, Dante, King Savage, Raider Paulie, OG Fade, Capita Raiders Los. What's going on, everybody? What is up? Joe works for ESPN. Let him work for ESPN then. He a sucker. Let him work for ESPN then because he's a true sucker. I ain't gonna sit here and take that BS. I'm not gonna sit here and take that BS. I'm not. That's one thing I don't do over here on the Spotlight Raiders Talk. All right, yo, D, what up? Dirty Eric, what's up, man? Eric Jimenez, the Chiefs are replacing their entire O-line, but they're going to the Super Bowl. But we replaced 3, and it's all bad. Exactly. What are we talking about? Bye-bye, Joe. I think we might be running the ball more this season. Yeah, with all the running backs, we definitely going to talk about all the running backs that we brought in. But last but not least, y'all, I'm going to bring my guest in, and I'm going to give him his introduction because I know his new intro is not on here, but his old intro is on here. So last but not least, welcome my guy. Here he goes right here.
Welcome to the My City, My Game pod show featuring Raider J77, your place for all things Raiders and all things Trailblazers. Brought to you by the Spotlight Sports Network. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Now let's go. What up, man?
Oh, man, what's up with you?
You know, hey, I was digging the intro.
Let me try to fix my speakers here because for some reason I can't hear you for some reason. So let me just go to the regular default. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now, man.
Sweet.
It's been a long time since we had Mr. Mr. Raider J77 in the building. What is up, man? How you feeling today?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I got number 12 on, Jake the Snake, you know. So,
Joe Grant, you've been talking mad stuff about the Raiders the whole time since we've been in here, even before I got on the camera. I'm not a baby. I'm not a baby, bro. I'm 35 years old. I know about this team. I follow this team, bro. He's just been negative even before I put in my intro. He's talking about how the draft pick's been bad, how we doing this and we doing that wrong this offseason. We look worse than last year. What as far as knowing that you have not been on the camera much in a while on your channel, which I could go over to his channel, My City, My Game. I could definitely go check him out there. But how you feel about the Raiders and what they did this offseason?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I was real skeptical. Anybody that's been a Raiders fan for more than like 2 or 3 seasons, maybe even 2 or 3 seasons, but anybody that's been a Raiders fan should definitely be cautiously optimistic, I guess, to put it lightly, because this team, they seem to make all these moves and do all this stuff and get everybody's hopes up, and then just kind of halfway through the season you're 6-1, and then all of a sudden everything goes to crap. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm excited that we have a new defensive coordinator in Gus Bradley. That was a huge thing, especially for me and you. If anybody goes back and looks at any of our videos from last season, especially at the end of last season, we were calling for Gunther's head, right? And so for them to make that move and bring in a new defensive coordinator, I'm excited about that. But again, I'm cautiously optimistic because this team will break your heart, man. They'll break your heart. But I like what they've done. I feel like what they've done, with bringing in Ngakoue and some of the other pieces that they brought in free agency, and even some of the drafts, the draft picks that they've made. I'm excited, man. I'm excited, in the defense and seeing what the defense is going to do, because that's been a huge, for lack of a better term, black eye on this team is the defense, man. So I'm excited. I like what they've done, but I'm gonna just dip my toe in the water and try not to get too excited because I'm not gonna be let down again, man. I'm not gonna be let down again.
Well, this time it's going to really have to be up to our offense this year, because I feel like, I don't know if you saw Gus Bradley's mic'd up when he was practicing in Allegiant Stadium on the Raiders channel. I just feel like with this defense, I feel like from seeing the pictures and seeing the actual team in the way they react to Paul, not the difference between they react to Paul Gunther and the way they react to Gus Bradley. And I feel like Gus Bradley brings a different mindset. And that's what makes me a little bit more confident in this year, because Gus Bradley on the defensive side of the ball, he's making sure that these players take accountability for what they do. Mind you, most of those defensive players that we got rid of, like the Arden Keys of the world, and I'm excited for this season. But at the same time, I'm really looking forward to what this defense could do, especially we got the KJ Wrights. Nate Hobbs looked good this offseason as a rookie. We got our guy in Trayvon Merrick, the safety that we always wanted. Yada Ngakoue was kind of a shocker to me. I didn't know that we was going to actually go out and get him. But a lot of these vets that we're bringing in are Gus Bradley guys and played in his system. So do you feel like bringing in the Gus Bradley guys like Darius Fallon, Denzel Perriman, KJ Wright, Yannick, and I think it's another Casey Hayward. Casey Hayward is another one. Do you think that, how can I put it? Do you think that these veterans is going to help these younger guys like the Trayvon Millens, the Max Crosby, the Cleveland Farrells? And then you got Corey Littleton, that's another vet, but he's not a Gus Bradley guy. And then Wachowski, not a Gus Bradley guy, but is a vet on his team. Do you think it helps those young guys coming in, especially the rookies as well?
Yeah, most definitely. You gotta have veterans on the team. Everybody says, well, good teams build through the draft, and that's how you win. Yeah, when it comes to youth and having guys that they can move around the field, and having guys that aren't gonna get hurt, and that are fresh and hungry and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's great, but you got to have that veteran presence. You got to have guys who can teach these young players the system. That's one of the benefits about having Gus Bradley, is that usually his systems are easy to learn. But yeah, that veteran presence, guys that have been there, guys that have seen, different situations and stuff, and can keep, these these rookies and these young players from getting too high or too low when it comes to wins and losses and how things are going throughout the season. So I really think it just brings a level of experience and calmness and confidence to the locker room, which absolutely is vital in order for teams to win. So I'm all for it, man. I'm excited to see Denzel Perryman and see what he can do, because I know him and Kwiatkowski are going to be looks like they're going to be splitting the duties at middle linebacker. So I'm also, I'm also really excited to see what Corey Littleton is going to do in Gus Bradley's system, because when it came to Gunther, he stunk up the joint, man. Like, it was like the field was covered in manure every time Corey Littleton stepped on it. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do and how much better he's going to be. And then Nate Hobbs, man, the young guy, the rookie we just brought in. Oh man, I'm excited to see what he's going to do, because he showed out in preseason. So to answer your question, or long answer to a short question, veterans are necessary, and I'm going to try not to get too excited, but there's excitement there.
So shout out to Jose with the 199 super chat. It says, Spotlight, what did you miss, brother? You really didn't miss much yet. You only been on for less than 20 minutes, so you really haven't missed much. We just talking about the offseason, talking about week one. What do we need to see going into week one as a primetime game? They did this to us last year. Primetime game, Monday night against the New Orleans Saints. Now we're back on Monday night for week one again against the Baltimore Ravens. Now, in my situation, I feel like we have a great chance to beat the Baltimore Ravens on Monday night. A lot of people are not giving us a chance to win because of Lamar Jackson's legs. For you, what needs to happen? What needs to happen for us to contain Lamar Jackson in week one? Knowing that we did bring in Yannick, that was with the Ravens last season. So as a defense, because defense has been the main talk of the offseason. So as a defense, what you think our defense needs to do to try to slow down? Not really, like, you can slow down Lamar Jackson too. So, what you think? You think we need outside contain or a QB spy or anything of that nature?
Yeah. So I'm gonna say this. So when it comes to Lamar Jackson and keeping him contained, is you're gonna need a linebacker that can definitely spy. I think we're gonna be okay with that. I think a young guy like Nate Hobbs, maybe even Jonathan Abram, the heat-seeking missile. Put one of those guys and make sure that their job is their job, and their only job is to make sure Lamar Jackson does not break out and run for yards. Plain and simple. Wrap up, tackle, clean tackle. Don't try to get cute with it. Just get back to fundamentals and get Lamar Jackson on the ground if he tries to break out and run. Because if he does and he gets free, bad day. It's a bad day, and we all know that. So that's, to me, I think that's really the key is linebackers and safeties are really going to have to show up and play and not try to do too much and get too cute.
I 100% agree on that. I don't know with Raider J, for some reason it lets you can down. I don't know why it did that, but I don't know why it says, oh, I think you muted yourself, Jay. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I did. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I just feel like discipline is going to be the biggest thing for this Raiders defense going into week 1. You have to be disciplined and do your job. Don't try to do just because you're a professional, you think you know what you're doing. Listen to what Gus Bradley has to say. Listen to his adjustments and show it on the football field, because the running back game is going to be. For me, I think the run game is going to be really in our favor because they don't have no running backs. They signed Le'Veon Bell to the practice squad, and they got another guy on the 53-man roster, which I don't know his name, and they got Gus Edwards. So I'm not really too big on their run game, but I got a feeling they're going to try to run with Lamar Jackson more and try to do that RPO with Mark Andrews. I think that's the only weapon that I really have to worry about on the offensive side of Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews. That's the tandem right there. For the offensive side of the ball, this is how I feel. I think we have enough weapons offensively, but do you think John Gruden, because you know how we both feel about Gruden. If you ain't see our videos last year, you should know how we feel about John Gruden. Do you think that he opens up that playbook more because we have so many weapons this year on our football team?
You know what, man? I wish I had an answer for that, man. I have no idea. John Gruden is an enigma, a big old mystery. Half the time I'm like, he's gonna do this. He has to do this. I'm telling you, this only makes the most sense. And then he goes and does something else. And then sometimes I'm like, nah, he ain't ever, he's not going to do that. And then he does it. So I don't know. I think it's intriguing that Marcus Mariota is still on the team. If he's healthy, obviously, I think it's interesting that he didn't play at all in preseason. Now, they said it was due to, I don't know, I think it was a sore toe or something. I don't remember what it was exactly, but he didn't play at all in the preseason. Is that John Gruden being, keep playing things close to the chest, and so he doesn't want to show off a lot of what they got planned as far as additional packages? But Marcus Mariota is probably the closest thing to a starting quarterback that's playing backup right now, and I want to know why. I'm intrigued to know why, because we didn't see much of Mariota last year at all. But then again, he was hurt for a lot of the time. And then as far as our wide receivers, I mean, we had Ruggs last year. We didn't see a lot. I mean, we saw a lot when it came to Darren Waller, but, I mean, we all know that John Gruden loves his tight end. So, honestly, I really don't know. I hope to see some, some opening of the playbook and some, less vanilla playing. But
it was in preseason.
Yeah, like there was in preseason, but it's really hard to tell with John Gruden. You just can't really say for sure, and I think that's what really frustrates a lot of fans. Is you just really don't know what to expect from season to season and from game to game. It's just really hard to predict, bro. I wish I had a better answer for you, man, but I can't. And I challenge anybody to give a better answer than that, because nobody really friggin' knows.
So shout out to Jonathan Emmanuel. Shout out to Jonathan Emmanuel. He says, stop the check down plays and be more aggressive. Stretch the field with Ruggs and Waller. Speed is your advantage, and throw some bombs over top of the defense. I have to agree. And now you brought in Kenyon Drake to be that second back that could catch the ball out the backfield. I mean, the checkdowns are good and all, but Kenyon Drake is definitely considered. He's a running back, but he's definitely considered another wide receiver in his offense. So, John Gruden, you gotta pull something out your ass when it comes to this. This off. I mean, even though he was top 10 last year in offense, averaging 30 points a game, but we still ended the season bad. We still ended the season bad offensively and defensively. But if the defense can hold us up, the offense will be fine. That's what I think. That's what I'm thinking, in my opinion. But it's some other I don't know if they did the official depth chart yet. I see it on Just Blog Baby, but I don't see the actual picture of the depth chart. So I don't know where you could find that unofficial depth chart. If anybody could tell me, please let me know. Please let me know if y'all do have questions for Raider J77 and myself. Make sure y'all put that in the chat. If y'all do want to subscribe to him, just put in. I see the way I have to search your name now on YouTube is My City, My Gang, Raider J77. If you want to put that all in, that's fine. But when I try to put it My City, My Game, it just didn't pop up. So I had to put the whole name in first. So yeah, so he said see the depth chart and they got Drake returning kickoffs with Ruggs. Why? Why do they have Drake returning kickoffs with Ruggs? See, this is my problem, right? You had a Dylan Stoner and a DJ Turner for these type of returns. You got a guy in Willie Snead that specializes in his outside of playing receiver. Why would you put a starting wide receiver and somebody that's going to get a lot of playing time in Kenyon Drake on kickoffs? It just doesn't make any sense to me. What you think about that?
You know what? I don't know, man. And I mean, unless that was their intention the whole time for bringing in Kenyon Drake, was to have him as a kick returner. They got Renfro as a kick returner and Ruggs. So, I guess they just want speed. They're just relying on the speed. But that makes me nervous, though. I mean, those are two of your top receivers, and you got them. You got them returning kicks. That's more opportunity to get hurt. I don't know, man. That makes me nervous, man. That really makes me nervous. I mean, they got Brian Edwards, as a starter above Hunter Renfro, which is interesting. And why wouldn't you have? I mean, maybe Willie Snead. You put Snead back there to return kicks. I don't know. I can't call it unless it makes sense that they would have had such a big wide receiver core to put back there in returning kicks, or maybe they just don't believe in Ruggs. Maybe there's not a lot of plan to have Ruggs doing a lot. Except for when they need a long bomb or something like that downfield to open it up. That's the only other thing I can figure.
So Central Cali Raider Bear says, I'm okay with it. Let's see what these kids got. We need to win now. Can't be afraid of taking a chance, but it would be a difference of a season, good or bad. I can agree with that, but what was the point of bringing in a guy like David Moore? What was the point of bringing in a guy like Snead? What was the point of putting DJ Turner and Dylan Stoner on the practice squad where all of those have experience returning kicks? I'd rather put experience than inexperience in that position. And then we don't want Hunter Renfro to be taking kicks. He's too valuable to our offense offensively.
Yeah, he's our number one slot receiver.
Right.
And he's not bad at his job either. So
yeah, he's been the most reliable receiver that's been healthy since he's been drafted. For real. Besides that one time he got smacked in New York. That just don't make no sense to me on the depth chart. It says Ruggs is backing up Drake on kickoffs and Renfro on punts. I just think that doesn't make sense. If anybody has that actual depth chart, send it to me on Spotlight Raiders Talk, because I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it at all. Yeah, that's kind of like, that just don't make no sense to me. So let's talk about it, though. Let's get the cat out. Let's get the cat out the hat now. Tanner Muse got cut, not waived, and he's now on the practice squad for the Seattle Seahawks. Me and you had a little debate in our group chat about Tanner Muse, and I'm just going to stick to my guns when it came to it, because I feel like with Tanner Muse, I think if you really didn't, like, for me personally, I think the Raiders should have drafted actual linebackers in the draft instead of trying to convert safety to linebacker like they doing with Devon Diablo. I just feel like Tanner Muse didn't get that shot to play at linebacker. He was the most talked about linebacker outside of KJ Wright coming here and Denzel Perryman coming here. They was talking about him taking Nick Wachowski's spot as a starter, because as of what they said in training camp. So I feel like he just didn't. He was a 3rd round pick, which I'm kind of surprised that we gave up 2 of our 3rd round picks in the last 2 years with it. I don't feel like he didn't get a chance. What's going on, Ray the Tape? What's going on, man? Yeah, Tanner Muse was a waste of a pick. It was a waste of a pick, but at the same time, we drafted him. Let's see what he got. I understand he had the toe injury last year, but we really didn't get a chance to see what he got. If you're going to cut a guy from off of one bad preseason game, then that means you wasn't going to give him a chance from day one, when he played well in the first 2. So what are your thoughts about Tanner Muse? I like Tanner Muse. I feel like we reached on him in the 3rd round. I think he was for me, I had put him projected as a 5th and 6th round pick, and we took him in the 3rd. I think we actually traded up or traded down for him, if I'm not mistaken. But what's your whole ordeal when it comes what happened with Tanner Muse?
So here's my thing. I get the opinion that it was a wasted pick. I totally get that. I get the fact that it was a reach. It looks like that was the case, that it was a reach. Bringing him in the 4th or 5th round, you can, and him getting cut, after, barely seeing any time on the field and him being hurt last year. I mean, that's a little bit easier to swallow than him being a 3rd round pick. But at the same time, I personally don't put as much value on draft picks, because it's such a gamble. Like, you don't really know. Half the time, you don't even know if these guys are their skills are gonna translate into the NFL. You can scout it, and you can give it your best educated guess as a scout, but you don't really know until they play. And given the fact that he was hurt all of last season, apparently he just wasn't as good as the other guys that were on the field. And I don't know, maybe they're valuing this idea of having veterans at that position, more veterans at that position than rookies, because technically he's a rookie. I mean, he didn't play at all last year. This would be technically his first season.
Right.
Maybe they just need more veteran players at that position, and I don't know if that's a John Gruden decision. I don't know if that's strictly a Gus Bradley decision, or Mayock, or all of them together. I'm not 100% sure, but it just sounds like that was one of those, just collateral damage. That was just one of those things that happens, and he happened to be picked in the 3rd round. Two of the 3 3rd round picks in that season are not on the team anymore. I get that, but if you look at the last 4 seasons and the amount of players that we still have on the roster that have been drafted in the last 3 seasons with Mayock, the majority of them are still with us. It is what it is. It's a draft, it's a gamble, and sometimes things just don't work out, and you end up wasting the 3rd round pick, and it sucks. But you know what? As long as we win, I really don't care. Just win, baby. That's all I care about.
So Snoop Hernandez says, don't forget Muse wasn't a Gus Bradley pick. I understand he wasn't a Gus Bradley pick. But at the same time, my question is, you still have Gus Bradley. I mean, not Gus Bradley. You still have Paul Gunther guys on this roster. You still have Paul Gunther guys that they drafted.
Mm-hmm.
That is, so Rage the Tape says that.
Hang on one sec, D. I'll be right back. Keep doing your thing.
You said that's giving a pass on poor long-term decision making, though, because it's been more than once. It's a habit. But why we haven't been winning for poor decisions? I don't know why we haven't been winning. It's poor decisions on, for me. It's poor decisions on all levels. It's poor decisions from coaching. It's poor decisions from players. It's poor decisions from the GM. I think it's poor players all the way around. I mean, we can't just say, oh, it's poor on the front office. I think you're going to have to look at from top to bottom. You got to look at the players. You got to look at the staff. You got to look at the owner. You got to look at the GM. You got to look at everything while we have not been playing poorly or have not been drafting the way we're supposed to draft, because in those years, it was better players than getting. It was better players in that third round than getting Tanner Muse. You could have got anybody else. And this year, I just feel like this year linebacker was loaded in this draft, and I'm kind of tired of us picking a safety to convert them to linebacker. So with me, what's the point of bringing in a safety to convert him to linebacker when the linebacking crew was stacked in the last 2 seasons when it comes to linebackers coming out of college? So I'm just like, kind of like, I like some of Mayock's picks, don't get me wrong, but some of the picks I'm like, okay, you did the same thing with Taylor Muse. He was the safety. You try to convert him to linebacker. Now, if Devon Diablo doesn't work out, what do you do with Devon Diablo? Because he's converting from a safety to a linebacker, just like Taylor Muse. And this what makes my concern as a Raiders fan is that you're not drafting linebackers, but you're drafting safety to be linebacker. I don't understand the drift. Where Jabril Cox, was a 5th round pick, was projected to be a 3rd rounder, and we don't get him at all. But you go get Devon Diablo, that is a safety that's going to be converted to linebacker. If we need a linebacker, just go get one. What you think about that?
Yeah, and I agree. I agree with some things are a head scratcher, and it's hard to tell because we don't get to see everything. There's a lot of stuff that we don't see that the team sees, but it's really a question of whether or not we believe that John Gruden and the coaching staff can get the job done. Because if we believe they can get the job done, I don't care if a kicker is a linebacker or a wide receiver becomes a cornerback. Like, it really doesn't make any. I mean, it doesn't make any difference to me as long as the job gets done. That's why I love the motto "Just win, baby," because I don't care. It doesn't matter if your quarterback is 45 or 14. As long as they get the job done, it really doesn't make any difference.
Not 14 years old, though.
Right? But there was somebody that said something in the chat. Right here. Do they feel like late round gems like Crosby and Hobbs cancel out missing on a couple of 3rd rounders? That's the thing that you got to remember too, is that yes, we could have gotten somebody good at pick 3, and we could have gotten somebody a Max Crosby or a Hobbs. You can have both, but sometimes you can't have your cake and eat it too. Sometimes you miss on a guy in the 3rd round, but you hit on a guy in the 4th or 5th round. I mean, think about all the teams that didn't draft Aaron Rodgers. And what was he drafted in the 7th round or something like that? 6th or 7th round?
You mean Tom Brady? Because
Tom Brady,
Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, because Aaron Rodgers was like, I think the 2nd round, if I'm not mistaken.
So
he was a 1st round pick.
Yeah. So
supposedly,
there are. Like I said, it's all a gamble. You don't really know. Guys that are drafted in late rounds, have early round talent, and early rounds have late round talent. I mean, we have the situation with Cleve Farrell right now, where should he have been the 4th overall pick? I don't know. but he's a decent player, and we got a guy like Max Crosby in the 4th or 5th round. So, it's just those situations where you just have to take what you get, and if you miss on certain players, you miss on them, but we can't dwell on it. We can't be mad about it. We just gotta hope that everything works out. And and I mean, if you really look at the team, it's not a bad roster. There's definitely some talent on the team.
Yeah, I'm just kind of concerned of if Diablo does not work out this year, he won't be with us next year, just because of what they just did with Tanner. That's just my only issue with this organization. I just feel like if Devon Diablo does not pan out as a linebacker in this season, they're going to try to cut him next year, and that's going to be another wasted draft pick. I think it's every year that is every year since Gruden's been here, the only ones that really been valued to us was Amari Cooper and Khalil Mack, which we traded away for 1st-round picks to able to get like the Jonathan Abrams of the world and the Josh Jacobs of the world. So I can understand it in return, but you just got to think on a talent wise, Khalil Mack was a great hit. Amari Cooper, he didn't pan out for us, but that was understanding why we got rid of him. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. It's just kind of nervous to me that we're not like we get a lot of vets, right? But we get rid of our young guys. And I feel like in the NFL, you have to have a mixture of both, in my opinion. You have to have the mixture of both. And if you're going to keep getting rid of young guys to get older guys, it's going back to the old days of the Raiders, in my opinion. Because KJ Wright is 34 years old. I understand he had his best year. He had one of his best years last year with Seattle. But KJ is 34 years old. He's almost the same age as me and played 10 years in this season. And he's only on a 1-year contract. So you got to think about it. Solomon Thomas, 1-year contract. Darius Fallon, 1-year contract. Quentin Jefferson, 1-year contract. Jonathan Hankins, 1-year contract. Casey Hayward, 1-year contract. You got to think of the 1-year contracts that we have. We don't know if they coming back next year, but we're relying on veterans. We're relying on veterans that's going to be here for 1 year, and we're not giving our young talent a chance. Hopefully, Nate Haas would be that guy, and Merrick would be that guy to give us that chance. But if Corey Littleton don't pan out, if Nick Wachowski don't pan out, what you do with their contracts? So it's give and take. It's give and take with me in this. I just feel like now you got all these 1-year players. What's next after next year? That's my thing with the whole situation here. So we're going. So we just hope Tanner Muse the best with the Seattle Seahawks, and hopefully we can. Hopefully he can, be a success. I just thought it was pretty rude what Tanner Muse and what the Raiders did. I don't know if you knew, Jay, but the same day they released him, they cut him on his birthday, number one.
Yeah.
So this is what they did. Even though KJ Wright is 32, he's still 10 years in this league as a linebacker. So after they cut him on his birthday, they posted on Twitter saying, "Happy birthday, Tanner Muse."
Mm-hmm.
How is that so disrespectful? If I had Tanner Muse, I would not want to come back here after that.
I imagine that that post probably went up before he got cut. That's the only thing I can figure. I mean, I'm not a big fan of whoever does the Raiders social media stuff anyway. I think that I think that they could definitely have a better person to be doing that. But yeah, I can't call it out. It's definitely an interesting coincidence. It's a little bit laughable, but I mean, a lot of stuff with the Raiders can be laughable. Sometimes you just gotta laugh and be like,
it was laughable, but it was just dirty. It was disrespectful. I wish a job of mine would tell me happy birthday after you fire me. What?
I know, right?
I'll be so
you're
pissed off, man. I'll be so busy. But I understand a minute later they deleted it, but still, like, like that's it's still like being in the working man's world, you know? So
or they just didn't communicate to their social media person, was like, hey, we're going to cut this dude. Don't wish him a happy birthday on Twitter.
Right. that was just so rude. But the 3 reasons.
I disagree with this. I think it's Crabtree. I'm just saying. I think
the social media.
No, Cooper is still the best wide receiver Carr has had.
Cooper is still not the best receiver Carr had. Absolutely. I love you, Ray Tape. You have a wonderful channel. But Michael Crabtree was the best receiver that Derek Carr had. Look at that 2016 season. Yep. Carr and Crabtree was one of the top tandems that year.
It was like Crabtree, Montana and Rice.
Huh?
I said that the way that they worked together was like Montana and Rice. It was just like they just knew what the other person was going to do. It was there. They clicked so well. Individually, not so much, but together, man, forced to be reckoned with for real.
Yeah, if you could rely on Crabtree to be on that level with Derek Carr. That's why Derek Carr was one of those guys that was in MVP conversation, because he had a Crabtree. Cooper couldn't stay on the field, and Cooper didn't really do nothing. Yeah, he had a good rookie year. One of those years he had a good year. One year that was a good year for us, but the one year that Crabtree was with us, in the year that Amari Cooper was with us, if you want to compare the two, Crabtree was the better receiver. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I won't unsubscribe on your birthday spotlight. That's a good one right away. That's a good one. But yeah, Cooper wasn't consistent, King Savage. He wasn't consistent. So the 3 reasons. I saw this on justblogbaby.com. I was going to do a video on it. On the 3 reasons why the Las Vegas Raiders is going to beat the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to get actually into the preview of this. And they say the 3 reasons is, they said the first one they said was the defense. So we're going to sit here and put the defense on hold. Let me see if I can share this screen real quick and show the nation. Let's see if we could go to it. All right, so here we go. All right, so here we go. So they said the defense, right? So they was talking about how the first thing they did, that they hired defensive coordinator Gus Bradley. They made over the defense personnel using 5 draft choices out of 7 on defensive talent, with Pro Bowlers like Yannick Ngakoue, cornerback Casey Hayward, and linebacker KJ Wright. They see in general manager Mike Mayock worked hard to rebuild this defense. It clearly shows. The laughingstock of the NFL, the defense didn't look too shabby now after years of mishaps. And saying that defense is experienced and much faster in recent years. While the dual threat ability of Mark Jackson will be displayed, the Raiders could have enough on that side of the ball to at least shut him down enough to make one in this game. It's faster and bigger defensive front, as much more as a reliable secondary on the defense that can make a play or a key role in the Raiders' victory Monday night. Jay, how you feel about what Just Blood Baby had to say about this first reason, about the defense?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely tend to agree. We definitely, out of all of the defenses that we've had starting the season, if we're going to beat an offense like the Ravens, even given, because they obviously have had some injuries at the running back position, but I mean, Lamar Jackson himself is a dual threat, so it's not huge if one guy goes down in that running back group. So I would agree, but at the same time, we just have to wait and see, man. We just have to wait and see how those adjustments can be made, because historically we have not done a good job setting the edge. So hopefully Gus Bradley has improved that. But man, I don't know how many times last season you and I were watching a game and like, seriously, if you let these, like, set the freaking edge, like, come on, what is going on here? Super frustrating with this defense historically. So we'll just have to see. Hopefully he's done his due diligence to make sure that does not happen anymore. But we'll see.
So the 190, shout out to Big Shane for the Big Shane RF for 199 super chat. He does say, where did you buy that Snake number 12 shirt from?
Give me a second. I'll pull it up and I'll tell you.
He's going to let me know. He's going to let y'all know where he got the shirt from, because honestly, I'm really considering on buying a shirt as well. So the number 2 person that they said, the second reason that they said that we're going to win this game is because of Josh Jacobs and Drake. They saying that Derek Carr is a reliable quarterback. He has one of the tight ends of Darren Waller. Actually, up-and-coming younger receivers on the rise. Despite those players, the newly formed two-headed monster and running backs Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake. They're saying in 2020, not a year to remember for Josh Jacobs, despite his first Pro Bowl. He was pretty banged up. They saying Jacobs may be relied upon too heavy. He was the third in NFL rushing attempts in 2020, playing behind inconsistent and banged up offensive line, which we're going to talk about that too, because we haven't talked about most of the offensive line either. But they saying that Jacobs kind of had a so-so second season. For me, I think it's due to injuries. But the Raiders decided to fix the issue, adding Kenyon Drake in free agency. Drake is a better pass catching out the backfield than Jacobs. He does blend with size and speed and gives the Raiders one more best of 2 combos in all of football. You know, outside of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and those guys, but I feel like we got one of the best tandems in the league. Drake will line up in multiple positions for the Raiders in 2021, and the Raiders not be able to combat the big play ability for both backs. Look for Jacobs to punish the Ravens on the ground, while Drake uses his multitude of talents to hurt the Ravens not only on the ground but through the air. These two will be both play major roles in what should be a Raiders victory. So, how you feel about that?
Oh man. Okay.
What you? Come on, keep it 100. You know we here, man. Keep it 100.
Okay, so they decided to fix the issue by adding running back Kenyon Drake in free agency. I don't think. I mean, yeah, he could be better catching balls out the backfield.
We found out they got you quiet on this one. Let me find out.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of Josh Jacobs, man. It's hard for me to say. I think that adding Kenyon Drake was a great idea, but I'm not gonna say that he's Josh Jacobs is the man, bro. Like he's a Swiss Army knife, and I agree that he is a great. That is a great 1-2 punch. I totally agree with that, but I'm not going to say that he is that his speed is better, that his backfield catching ability is better. I'm just not going to say that. I can't say that.
I think his pass catching ability is better than Jacobs. I think Jacobs still need to learn how to be a catching back as well. That's why I think they brought in Drake for. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I think they really brought in Drake because how much banged up Josh Jacobs was, and Jalen Richard as a guy that's getting paid $3.5 million to be a third string back now, and Jalen Richard just could not pick up the load when Jacobs was out. I mean, we did have Devontae Booker. I mean, he still had to split snaps with Rashard, but you see the difference when you have a bigger back than when you have a finesse back in Jalen Rashard. So I feel like those downs where Jacobs needs a break, then you could put it on them short yardage. You could put in a Peyton Barber. You could put in Keon Drake on them short downs, like them 2nd and 1s and them 3rd and 2s and stuff like that. So Jacobs definitely does need a breather, and I think we have a more reliable back in Drake than we got with Rashard.
Yeah, no, I agree. So here, like I said, I think adding Kenyon Drake is awesome. I think that it was a great move, and I'm happy that they did it. And it's a great 1-2 punch, like I said, at running back. But there's so many times where I've seen, Derek Carr, in a panic, dump it off to Josh Jacobs, and Josh Jacobs make a play catching the ball out of the backfield. I've seen it, and you've seen it. Like, we've both seen it so many times where, like, I don't know. Maybe he is, and maybe I'll eat my words, but I'm not ready to say that he is better at that skill set yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. But I think Drake, I mean, because he could play multiple positions. You can even have Drake and Jacobs on the field at the same time, and Drake could line up as a slot wide receiver in certain situations. You still have Jacobs in there. So even though that, yeah, Jacobs is our number one guy. He's our beast. He's our bruiser. But having them both on the same time, how do defenders can defend that when you have both on the field at the same time? That's going to be tough for defenses this year. So good luck with that. If I'm any defense in this league against us, good luck with that. And the third reason that they said was, of course, we talked about it, Ravens injuries. Ravens injuries is just so aggravating to see that it's unfortunate that the Ravens have injuries. They start running back J.K. Dobbins, tears ACL. He's done for the season. You got their first round pick wide receiver Rashad Bateman going on IR. Then you have Marquise Hollywood Brown, which is AB's cousin, boo-hoo, is also banged up. Their top receiving option is usually resolved around a tight ends, led by Mark Andrews. The Raiders' improved defense will be taking on the injury-ravaged Ravens offense. Should pay a huge dividends to the Raiders' victory. Jackson is always a tough opponent to figure out, but the top running back is out for the season, and one of their most anticipated receiving threats is out for the clash. So they seem that the Ravens will look much weaker. They did say that injuries play a part in this one, but the weapons for the Ravens have nearly been cut in half. They said the Raiders will take advantage of this, playing a Ravens team at they'll take knowing that they can't play a Ravens team at full strength. It may be a different story here, but the injuries and the Raiders should be able to win this one with the fans being in the stands in Las Vegas. So, how you feel about this one here? That when it comes to the Ravens defense, I would love to play them at full strength just to challenge our defense. But hey, things happen. The offensive and the Ravens offensive line is hurt too.
Yeah.
So,
every team deals with injuries. I mean, look how many injuries we had last season. Teams always deal with injuries. It's the team that it is able to make something out of those, not make something out of the injuries, but still do stuff, still win despite injury. So it's really about depth and what you're able to do. How do you change things up? How do you change up your scheme? If your running back one goes down, what do you got to do to change the scheme up so that you still have a decent running game and you can make plays in the air, because those go hand in hand. So it's really just about how you make adjustments and how you change up your scheme and the talent that you have at depth. So, the talent you have on your depth chart. So, really, yeah, there's no excuse. Is it better to play up play a banged up team? I guess, yeah. In a certain way, there is, but it's not an excuse because every team has to deal with it. Even the ones that win the Super Bowl still deal with injuries, but they find a way to make it work. So I don't see that. I don't see that as any reason why the Raiders should not take this team seriously and prepare as if everybody is playing, but just obviously understand the adjustments that are going to be made, and play to those adjustments and pull out the W, because we've got injuries too. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't have all of our guys 100% healthy, so
Facts. So Big Shane, he's coming in trying to ask for the shirt. I understand that, but we trying to run a show here as well.
I'm trying to remember where I got it. I cannot, for the life of me, remember who I got it through. It's been so long. I can't remember.
Just give us a second. Just give us a second. He's going to find it. He's going to find it. So just give us a second, y'all. Give us a second. He's going to find it, Shane. Big Shane, he's going to find it.
Yeah.
So our offensive line. A lot of offensive moves have been made. And no Rodney Hudson this year, no Gabe Jackson. But we have Rodney Hudson's protege, which is backup Andre James. We end up bringing in Nick Martin. We still have Denzel Good. Our offensive line looks a little different this year. Do you feel like knowing that Tom Cable is a great offensive line coach? Leatherwood was our first round pick last year, which I thought it was a reach at the point, but looking at his stats and looking why John Gruden got him, it made sense to me why we got it. But Ray the Tape is in the chat, y'all. Ray the Tape is in the chat going off on y'all. So shout out to Ray the Tape. Shout out to my brother, man. Hopefully we can get you back on this show soon as possible. But our offensive line, I mean, how are you confident going into the season the way our offensive line has shaped out?
Okay. So I don't know why folks would be worried about the right tackle position, because we didn't have a starting right tackle all of last season.
Facts. You see it, baby Trey Brown.
Right? That's not really a worry for me. Our left tackle is still pancaking fools. We lost our starting center, and we lost Denzel Good, who's a solid starter as well. But I'm not 100%. I'm not ready to say I'm worried. I'm not ready to, because I feel like we have a great offensive line coach who really does a good job, not just with starters but with backups as well. And I think that they've done their due diligence in making sure that Derek Carr is going to stay safe. And to be quite honest with you, I mean, we got Mariota as a backup, so if in case of emergency, break glass and pull out Mariota, and I think we're going to be all right. So I'm not ready to say I'm worried about it at all, because of the coaching, because of the talent of players. Richie Incognito, still around. I mean, yeah. It's not. I'm not ready to be worried, and we have a great backup quarterback if need be. So
right. So
I still think Mariota can play. I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's he needs to replace Derek Carr. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying I think the man can still play quarterback.
I just need him to stop being injured. If that's the case, Jay.
Right. Exactly.
I need him to stop being injured.
Yes.
So Ray the Tape, he said, "Yo, is he worried about anything at all?" LOL. He did say he's not going to be that optimistic about this season anyway. He said he's going to put one toe in the water and not get too excited about the season. So he is worried, but
Yeah,
He said he
but
just
I'm
got to
not.
be optimistic because we went 6-3 last year and we had a debacle. So he did
Yeah.
say that he's optimistic, but he's not too optimistic and not gonna get overly excited. I don't know if you saw it in the beginning of the show, but he did say that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I try not. I try not to get too high or too low about stuff that happens because, really, honestly, man. I am a diehard Raiders fan. I've got a sign up in my house that says I will not be calm when the Raiders are on. So I get.
Really, I need
Yeah,
that
oh yeah.
sign.
My kids know what's up. Like if the Raiders are on, don't give dad a hard time because especially if they lose, steer clear because I get into it. I get emotional. But I try not to get too high or too low. And at the end of the day, man, it's a game. You know what I mean? Like it's a game. I'm not going to live and die by the decisions that are made in an organization that I have absolutely no power or control over. Um, and so that's just how I am. I'm not gonna do that. And then if you catch me in the heat of the moment, I'm gonna be crazy, but I calm down and I just remember at the end of the day it's a game, and it is what it is. So I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna be stressed out about it. There ain't nothing I can do about it anyway. I can't put any more offensive players on the offensive line, or excuse me, offensive linemen on the team. I can't do that. So what am I going to do?
Gotta go with what you gotta go with.
It is what it is, and I'm just going to trust that they know what they're doing. And I honestly believe in Tom Cable. Like the man has proven it, season after season after season. The man has proven that he can work with players and coach them. So I trust him.
So
it is what it is.
I feel like I'm not worried about the starting offensive line outside of Incognito. He has not practiced in a long time. But the only thing that I am concerned about, before we get into what I said, shout out to Big Shane RN4L. He said, Oladipo has scared me to death, bro. Backups, no shadows in the preseason because they couldn't block daylight. I'm very nervous about that. That's what I'm saying. I'm very nervous about the depth of our offensive line. I'm not really too concerned about the starting offensive line outside of Incognito. So I know Colton Miller can stay healthy. I know Denzel Good can stay healthy. I know possibly Andre James can stay healthy. But the rest of Alexander was going to be out there. If he gets banged up, he's going to get banged up. It's part of being a rookie. He's going to make some mistakes. And he's going to make some mistakes. It's part of the game. It's part of the game. So it's just the second string, whoever's going to fill in for Incognito. That is going to be my biggest problem because our second unit for that offensive line is not great. John Simpson is not great. So if you put John Simpson there, then what? But shout out to Docs, aka Graphic Raider. Shout out to Docs for being in the chat. Really do appreciate you, brother, being in here. I thought you was gonna go live for your coffee and convo earlier. I was looking forward to that, but you didn't. You wasn't here, man. But what's up, man? What's up, chat gang? What's up? What's up? What's up? Make sure y'all hit that like button and wipe them feet, like Docs would say. Wipe them feet, because the last time I saw y'all on YouTube, I only had like 70 likes. And make sure y'all go over to My City, My Game. Make sure y'all go over to his channel. I'm going to put the link in the description for him. So make sure y'all go over there, go to My City, My Game. We only got 84 likes and there's 118 people in here. What are we doing? So make sure y'all come over, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Ray Love said, yo, Spotlight, what's good, bro? I knew I could count on you for Raiders content. Yes, I've been putting out mad Raiders content about the acquisitions that's been going on and stuff like that. So Doc said he's getting his voice back together. I might go live tonight. Let me know. And I could give you Raider J77 his Instagram, so y'all can link up and do some shows together too. Because Doc's always doing shows, man. He's always doing shows. He's going to be in Las Vegas from tomorrow to Tuesday, so he's going to be in there with the nation. He's not going to the game because them tickets is asinine in my opinion. They are asinine in my opinion. So y'all be seeing me from the comfort of my own home doing Raiders games. Yeah, but how was the voice? How was the voice, Docs? Because I know your voice was out for a little bit. But let's talk about, speaking of the running back position. Why are the Raiders going after all these running backs for a workout? I don't get it. We went out and signed Peyton Barber. I was cool with that. I was fine with that. But now you went and tried to work out Deontay Foreman and an injury-prone Kerryon Johnson. I said, why would we work out running backs where we need to work out backup offensive linemen? So with them two news is coming out, right? So with Kerryon Johnson and it was Kerryon Johnson and Deontay Foreman that we worked out yesterday. How do you feel about those?
I mean, I feel like every team should do their due diligence. And if you're concerned about depth at a specific position, I mean, you know, do your due diligence. I'm sure that. So you're worried about. Let me make sure I'm hearing you clearly. You're worried about the team working out running backs and not linebackers.
No, is backup offensive lineman.
Lineman. Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they have worked out. I hope they would be doing their due diligence to work out backup offensive linemen to try to bring more guys in. And maybe we're only getting the reports from the media that they're working out running backs. You know, I really don't know. But I mean, I would hope that if they're working out running backs, that they're also working out offensive linemen to try to find us some backups so we can build some more depth at the offensive lineman position. But to me, it's kind of like it's just noise. You know what I mean? It's just noise. The media's making noise, and you know, a lot of people want clicks, and you know, they want you to go. So I'm not gonna feed into it too much, but I really really do hope that they're doing their due diligence to try to build some depth at certain positions. So I feel you on that. I'd like to see that report.
So I saw this on Twitter. His name is Tristan Kuhn. He put out that the Raiders worked out the following players yesterday: Keon Drake, Deontay Foreman. They worked out 3 safeties: Stephen Parker, Elijah Holder, and Kavion Frazier. Then 3 linebackers: James Burgess, Dijon Harris, and linebacker / defensive end Carlos Kemp, and cornerback Kevon Seymour. So there was no offensive lineman on that list that the Raiders worked out. That concerns me.
Yeah. That concerns me too.
That concerns me that no offensive lineman was worked out. 3 safeties, 3 linebackers, a corner, and 2 running backs. That is crazy to me. So Tristan Kuhn is a Raider scout. Okay, that makes sense. I just feel like I didn't know that was Raider Scout. I did not know. If y'all have not followed Raider Scout on Instagram, that's where I get all my news from. But I was talking with him yesterday. I'm like, why is no offensive line being picked up? You know, so I feel like offensive line need to at least take a look at it. I mean, Schwartz is out there, but he has a back injury. DeCastro was out there, but he's coming off injury. But I know some offensive linemen out there on waivers or in free agency that we can go get to help this offensive line. That's it. That's it for me. So, just to let y'all know, we will be live Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will have what's his name? I keep forgetting his name. We're gonna have TTB Ravens Media on here to have our breakdown between the Ravens and the Raiders pregame. I wouldn't say pregame, but it's gonna be like what we usually do. We usually bring other YouTube content creators that our opponent is playing. Usually bring them up. So make sure y'all in the building for that. That will be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm gonna try to open up the lines. I'm gonna try to open up the lines. Just give me a second here while I try to set that up for y'all. I know y'all been begging for it. Oh, y'all gonna open up the lines, da da da. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna open up the lines right now because y'all know the Raider Nation. They love the call in show. I'm telling you, they love when they love the call in, man. They love the call in. So let me do this. I'm gonna have to do it via Bluetooth because I was trying to find a way to do it without using Bluetooth, but I'm gonna have to do it this way. Hopefully, we get this thing working. All right, so it's actually set up. So it looked like people have been calling already. No, actually, this is from the 3rd. My bad. We have a lot of missed calls on this app. So let me get the number for y'all.
Hey, so I remembered where it was. It's called the T-shirt place, or where to get the T-shirts. One Nation Fanwear. That's what it's called.
OneNationFanwear.com.
Yep.
OneNationFanwear.com.
And they got these shirts. I've got it pulled up right here. They got them. They got other T-shirts as well, but they got the. And then
you said One Nation what?
One Nation Fanwear. FANWEAR. One Nation Fanwear.
One Nation Fanwear, Fanwear, right?
Yep, Fanwear. Here, I'll put it in the chat. Oh, you got it?
One Nation and
they have big and tall. So
why don't they be big and tall, man? I can't do big and short.
Well, I'm saying they got big and they got big and tall and they got big and short.
That's disrespectful, man. That's disrespectful to me. I'm short. I'm only 5'4". I got a big belly.
They got regular sizes. So, but yeah, go check them out because all the proceeds go to the Ken Stabler Foundation. So, for those T-shirts.
So I'm gonna put the link in the chat right here. OneNationFanwear.com. So make sure y'all definitely go get that shirt. That shirt is ridiculous, man.
Speaking of Ken Stabler, there's my signed picture. I just like to show that off because, yeah, that's just what I like to do. So I did put it in the chat,
OneNationFanwear.com. If y'all do want to call up to the show, the line is open. So, alrighty, here we go. And thank you for calling the Spotlight Raiders Talk. Who is this and where you calling from?
You know who it is, big brother. Yeah, it's Brother Pete, man. How you been, brother?
What's going on, man? How are you today?
Oh, man, you know I'm out here grinding, but I'm feeling real good, bro. I'm just glad that you're back doing what you do best. You feel me? You were I heard you were up in the hospital or something, so I'm glad you're back and healthy, brother. Let's talk some Raiders football, baby.
Thank you. And shout out to Samoan Raider in the chat. He said, those my guys, One Nation Fanwear also coming through for the nation. So shout out to Samoan Raider. If y'all have not subscribed to Samoan Raider, make sure y'all do. And
shout out to Samoan.
Facts. So what you got for us today, man?
So listen here, brother. You know me, man. I'm on all your live. Even though I don't call in every time, I'm listening to everything you say. But one thing that I wanted to point out that I heard you guys were talking about was, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but it kind of sounds like you're tired of Raiders coaches drafting safeties and converting them to linebackers. Did I catch that right, or am I wrong?
Yes, I'm kind of tired of
okay, cool.
Safeties converted to linebackers.
No, I totally get what you're coming from. Now, one thing, I had to say something because what popped in my mind right away was, I think we can all agree that this game is changing. This game is changing every single year. Athletes are faster, they're bigger, they're quicker. It's a game that it's not what it used to be, and it continues to change on I would say every 5 years. So I mean, with that in mind, I kind of like how they're moving safety to linebackers. Let me tell you why. First of all, we all know who Ray Lewis is, right? I think we can all agree,
Yeah,
Ray Lewis was
We all know that, yeah.
Yeah, I think we would all agree that he was, in my opinion, he's the best linebacker of all time, and I'm a Raider fan. But would you trust Ray Lewis covering Travis Kelce or Dan Waller? Answer me that question.
In my opinion, I wouldn't trust Ray Lewis covering either.
Exactly.
Because me
so
personally,
my point is,
but in your argument, Ray Lewis wasn't a cover linebacker. But the thing about the draft, he wasn't a cover linebacker. But the thing about the draft, draft was deep with linebackers that can cover. So why go out and get a safety where you had a deep draft of linebackers that can cover?
Mm-hmm.
Got to think about that
goes
too.
back to what I was saying. Right. And I get that, but that goes back to what I was saying. How the game is changing. The game isn't what it used to be. Especially the tight ends, like the Kelceys of the world, the Wallers, the Kittles. I mean, tight ends, bro. They're pretty much linemen who can catch a ball. That's what tight ends are. So when you have I think Waller's 6'6", 250 pounds, and runs a 4.46 or something, bro. What athletes can do that at the tight end position? But that's just one. That's just one example. But my thing is, bro, and the reason why I'm bringing up Darren Waller is because obviously linebackers have to go against, tight ends. So I mean, with the game changing, with the tight ends getting quicker, slot receivers, all that good stuff, we have to kind of mold into what the game is becoming. So as a safety, you're back there, you have the whole field. You can see the whole entire field, right? So you have this half, or maybe you're, in the middle, like Morley's going to do, and he has to cover the whole back end, whatever. You have a lot more assignments to, to pay attention to. Now, when it comes to linebackers, especially in Gus Bradley's system, these guys, they don't know how to cover three, right? So, in my opinion, for a safety who's used to like covering a large amount of the field on the back end, to go down, not only are you seriously covering 1/3, if that, of what you used to, but on top of that, you're quicker or as quick as these tight ends nowadays or these slot receivers nowadays. Shoot, some of these linebackers like Divine Diablo, what's his name? Divine Diablo?
Yeah, Divine Diablo.
You know, when you're running a 4.4, 4.5, you can keep up with number 2, even number 3 receivers. You see what I'm saying? So my thing is, I like it because, nowadays these safeties like Divine Diablo and Abram, they're bulky. They look like linebackers. But what's scary is the speed these guys have to carry that amount of weight, to move the way they move. I mean, to me, I think it's kind of genius converting safety to a linebacker. But keep this in mind, though. Not every safety can do that. You see what I'm saying?
But we did that the last 2 years, though. So that, and you see Tatum Muse didn't pan out. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to take some more development in Divine Diablo. I think Divine Diablo, he's going to be fine. But I just feel like in this draft this year, we passed up on good linebackers for a safety to convert to a linebacker that could do the same thing that Divine Diablo can do. So before you answer, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, so one thing I wanted to ask you was, we let go of Tatum Muse, right? But let me know something. Who on our team, linebacker-wise, would you rather cut than Tatum Muse?
I mean,
nobody, right? I mean, we're pretty stacked at linebacker. And just a week ago, we were running around with our heads chopped off. Like, what the hell are we going to do? You know what I mean? And a guy who hasn't played a single snap in the real season, a guy that I know he has potential, but I mean, the amount of talent we brought in, the leadership, the veterans, and you know how John Gruden loves his veterans. It's just like, we kind of had to, we didn't want to let him go. I know we didn't, because I heard that we put in a waiver pickup for him, but he didn't want to come to us. He went to the Seahawks instead, which is cool.
Why would I, as me being personally, right? Why would I go back to a team that cut me on my birthday
No, I get it, yep.
and then post me happy birthday. Oh, like I don't understand that. I don't understand that. But I'm gonna let I don't know if you can hear my guy Jay, but I know you probably want to hear his perspective. Really. Jay, see if because I'm trying the speaker on the software. I'm trying to see if you can. I mean, if he can hear you through my system.
Can you hear me?
You talking to me or Jay?
No, I'm talking to him. I'm talking to Jay. Can you hear him at all?
I can't hear Jay at all.
Can you hear me at all?
No, I can't hear him at all. Hey, okay. Jay, shout out to you, bro. What's going on, brother?
Let me just change my audio speakers real quick because I'm gonna have to learn this real quick. Learn how to for y'all to hear him.
Hey man,
Jay,
we all gotta learn. You know, you do your thing.
Jay, say something real quick.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
So basically, what I agree with the fact that you should be able to convert one player from one position to another. Kind of like a cornerback. Will go to safety. Eventually in their career, or at some point, you might just convert a cornerback to the safety position. Like I totally get that. I think really just the frustration here is that we haven't really drafted and cultivated a true linebacker, like just a true dog of a linebacker. And hopefully one of these veterans that we brought in free agency, or maybe one of the other linebackers that we've recently drafted, will turn into that. But it's not something that we have done in a long time, and the fans just want that to happen. Now, if you do that and then you draft a safety and convert him to linebacker to be a covered linebacker, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? Do it, like if it works. But
right.
But so in both ways, I feel like you have a point, but in this situation, that's what people are frustrated. That's what fans are frustrated about. Like just
like my thing is, I think it all.
Ray Lewis, for God's sake.
Like, sorry,
Go ahead.
My bad, brother. I'm sorry if I'm cutting him off. I can't barely hear him. I don't want him thinking I'm being rude or nothing. But so my thing is, I think this all started with the Brian Urlachers of our era. I don't know if anyone knows, but Brian Urlacher was drafted as a strong safety, and he was converted to linebacker, and he's arguably one of the best linebackers of all time. So, it's possible, you know what I mean? Especially nowadays with athletes how they are, it's possible to transfer from safety. Like I said, you have a lot less to cover. And when you already have that full range of coverability as a safety, to drop it down to, the flat or the deep middle, or, you know what I mean? It's going to be a lot. Not only are you covering less, but you're going to get there quicker because a linebacker nowadays is running like a 4.7, 4.8. But when you have a linebacker running a 4.4, 4.5, you're going to get there quicker. And that's what this defense is all about, especially on Gus Bradley's defense. We're all about speed.
Well, you can say that. You can say that about JOK because you can say that about JOK because we passed up with JOK and he ran a 4.4, 4.5 as a linebacker, and we passed up on him.
Right, but. That was really stupid. I didn't even the linebacker that really got me, to be honest with you, if I'm being real, was what's his name? He went to the Cowboys.
Jabril Cox.
No, the other one. He was drafted this.
Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons, my guy. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I got pissed when we didn't pick him, bro. Like, Alex Leatherwood, he better be worth it, bro. That's all I got to say. Because Michael Parsons, man, that guy's a linebacker, bro. He can rush. Anyway, I'm not going to get into him.
I think the Cowboys had a draft pick before us. They didn't draft after us. Michael Parsons went early.
Really? I thought he went after.
Michael Parsons went early. He didn't even fall to us at all.
Oh, well, let me tell you something then. On that note, I didn't even know that. That's crazy. Why the hell did I? Anyways, dude, in that case, I would have traded up to get that dude. Michael Parsons is definitely worth it. But anyway, what I was going to say about, people are tripping over the Tanner Muse thing, and I totally get it. It was on his birthday, and I get it. But people need to understand that at the end of the day, this is a business. And especially when you're a week out, when you're a week out from starting Monday night primetime football, you know, like let me give you an example. I work at a job. I come here, I make friends, and you know, I get along with everybody, but they're not paying me to do that. It just happens. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same thing over there in the NFL. You're getting paid to make a play or to play. And when you don't play a whole season, when you don't, you know, open eyes like Gus Bradley or your linebacker coach or whatever, and you don't catch people like, oh, dang, Tanner Muse is doing something, and you missed a whole season. And on top of that, we got the talent we have depth-wise. It was hard to make, I'm sure, but it was necessary, brother. And
I don't know if it was. I would have said, I don't know if Jay would agree with me. I said it would have been more necessary if Morrow and Javin White was healthy. I don't know if y'all agree with that, because Morrow, we might not see Morrow the rest of this year the way his injury is. We don't know the real status of Javin White. So who do we really have on that practice squad at linebackers, just in case of one of these linebackers, God forbid, gets hurt? Tanner Muse could have been one of those guys.
From the Ravens. I think Okinawa or something. We just signed a linebacker from the Ravens.
Jeremy Osawanu or something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but that's one linebacker.
You know,
who's the other?
And you know what? Well, I mean, we already have 5 on the team.
We have KJ Wright. We have Nicholas Morrow.
Wright. We have
KJ Wright, Nicholas Morrow, Corey Littleton, Devon Diablo, which I still consider him I still consider Devon Diablo a safety in my opinion. Watching him at Virginia Tech, that's where he was his best at safety. That's just me. If you go back and look at Devon Diablo's film from his preseason game, then when he played at Virginia Tech, he's more comfortable as safety than he is as a linebacker. Just my opinion.
But Devon Diablo,
Markel
he
Lee,
didn't play that much in preseason.
Another guy that's not better than Tanner Muse. You got a guy on the practice squad that Markel Lee is not better than Tanner Muse, bro. That's just me.
Right. I'll give you that. No, for real. I don't even know why Marcus Lee is even on this team, to be honest. He had his chance, and I didn't see nothing from him, bro. So my thing is, like, with Tanner Muse, I heard 2 things. 1, he didn't want to sign with us when we put out the waiver. And 2, we didn't want to sign him because we already picked up a walkthrough from the Ravens. So I don't know if John Gruden's like, you know what? This dude he's showing me more than Tanner Muse. And like he always says, the best ability is availability or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we all see the potential in Tanner Muse. So let's be real. We haven't seen him in prime time. And, I mean, on the field at all, I mean, professional-wise, maybe, I mean, you can't count preseason because you're only going up against 3rd and 4th string. Let's just put that out there. But, I mean, when you have people who are proven, like a KJ Wright, like a, what's his name, Perryman, with Kwiatkowski, with a Corey Littleton. Both guys are making $10 million a year.
Well, you got to think about it too, though.
$10 million a year, so
you got to think about it too, though. And Tanner Muse was outplaying Kwiatkowski in training camp this whole offseason.
Yeah,
I'm kind of nervous. I'm just kind of nervous with Kwiatkowski because he's been injured. He's been injured this whole offseason. That's what I'm nervous about. I'm not really worried about Corey Littleton because Corey Littleton don't have injury. He don't have like injury history. KJ Wright don't have an injury history, but it's Kwiatkowski. That's my only issue with him.
And my thing is too, I mean, don't you think Gus Bradley, he's had his share of linebackers. We all know that. Don't you think if he really thought there was potential and he really thought that Tanner Muse was showing him something and he really thought that the guys he has on the roster now, if he had a slight, like, you know what, I'm going to keep Tanner Muse instead of Markel Lee, or I'm going to keep this guy over. We aren't there in person during, drills and off season. Yeah, we see clips here and there, but let's keep it real. When we see clips as Raiders fans, we only see the highlights. We don't see the whole practice. So when Tanner Muse is out here making an interception or a tackle, how do we know the last 59 minutes he was playing, he didn't do shit?
But
You know what I'm saying?
my thing is this: to understand this is a business, but don't talk highly about a linebacker that might be able to take Bukowski's spot, and then you cut him. Why would you talk if he was doing bad? You could say that he was doing bad, but don't sugarcoat it. And that's my and Jay knows from the past that I hate when the Raiders sugarcoat. Even with John Gruden at press conferences, he sugarcoat. That means that Gus Bradley sugarcoat about talking highly about Tanner Muse.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he did. He talked highly about him and then you cut him. Typical Raider shit.
I know. Well, I wouldn't say Raider shit. I would say Gruden shit. That's what Gruden does. That's not what the Raiders do.
Well,
but my thing is, when have you ever heard a press conference for any team, let alone the Raiders, for any team? Like, you know what? Like, we got him in the third round, but we're not really feeling too good about him. Like, I really do think that we're going to cut him. Like, you don't ever hear that. So obviously, when you make a pick, you want to make your team and yourself look good because no one's going to come out here like, damn, I fucked up, guys. My bad. Muse, you're going to get cut in about 2 weeks because we're going to go find another linebacker right about now. No one says that. So obviously, you know, sugarcoating, it comes with the business. We're not going to knock any player. You know, if you were to ask John Gruden right now, like, hey, tell us about Jamarcus Russell, he wouldn't say like, oh, he was a bust and he didn't do this. He would tell you like, you know, he's a good player. And, you know what I mean?
No, he wouldn't.
That's just what they do.
No, they don't. I see some coaches. I see some coaches in the past talk bad about players. One, what's his name? Jim Moore from the Colts. Playoffs. This team ain't good enough to be playoffs. But you said that's just being real. He's being realistic. Something the Raiders is not doing right now. Like, we're not being realistic.
You know what? I agree with you. You know what? Now I think of it, Gruden, he doesn't have to necessarily say like, oh, this dude sucks because he does this. He needs to say something like, you know what? Yada, 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 but he really needs to work on his coverage, or he really needs to work on catching the ball. You know what I mean? He needs to keep it real. So I agree on that 100,000%. 100,000%.
Facts.
Because I get it. When you sugarcoat something, you know, people, they might actually think like, damn, maybe I'm not fucking up as bad as I am. You see what I'm saying? So I get where you're coming from with that. So he needs to keep it more real. I get that. I'll give you props.
So
before the only issue I have with our team, and you nailed it, bro. It's not our starting O-line. It's our fucking depth. And it's pissing me off how every time I wake up to look at Raiders news, we find a damn position we do not need to shine. We don't need running back depth. We don't need defensive line depth. We don't need, you know, who else did we sign? We think we signed a safety, or we worked out a safety.
We worked out 3 safeties, 2 running backs, 3 linebackers, and a corner.
Oh gosh, like what the fuck? Like where are the guards? Where are the tackles? And you know what? And I'm glad that we brought this up because that's one of the points I wanted to give you. Yeah, Tom Cable's a good O-line coach. I'll give him that. But let's not put it all on Gruden. How do we know that Tom Cable isn't like, oh no, Brandon Parker, he's showing I see the potential. Just don't sign anyone else. We have our backup. I think Simpson and Parker, they'll develop and they'll make it. And I'll be honest with you, we still have to see what Simpson does. But Parker, he's done. He's had years to prove that he's a good tackle, and he continues to get beat in the preseason and regular season. And going back to what you said about sugarcoating, John Gruden just called him one of the best swing tackles in the league. I seriously wanted to throw my freaking coffee at the freaking TV when I saw that. And I was like, this dude is not one of the top swing tackles. Give me a break. I'm pretty sure there's veteran depth out there we can sign that is a lot better than what we have now. But the problem is with the Raiders is they want to, quote unquote, develop players. But when you have Brandon Parker not doing shit, I don't know why he's still on the team. And then we have Simpson struggling in the preseason. It's like, and then now we have Richie Incognito not practicing. I'm hoping they're not practicing because they want to rest him like they did Josh Jacobs. But what worries me is Josh Jacobs, he comes back to practice tomorrow. Richie Incognito doesn't. So it's like, what's going on there? But what gives me kind of hope the Richie Incognito is okay. We haven't signed an offensive guard, you know? So my thing is, I think if it was really bad, as we all think it is, I'm pretty sure we would sign at least a guard by now. But I don't think that's the case. I think Incognito, I mean, he missed all last year. They want to make sure he's on the field for week one. He's a captain, yada, yada, yada. So maybe they're just playing it easy. You know what I'm saying? But all I got to say is, dude, we're about to kick the shit out of the Ravens on Monday night. That's going to set the tone for the rest. That's going to set the tone for the rest of the season. We're going to go 12-5. Fuck all you. I don't give a fuck what anyone of you say. The Raiders this year are gonna fucking shock the world. So I'm gonna say that we beat the Ravens 34-31. Daniel Carlson wins us the game at the end. I'm calling it right now.
So before you head out, I'm gonna let Jay. I don't know if he wants to say anything in a response to what we just heard. So Jay, is there anything else you want to say
Jay?
Before Eham heads out, so we go to the next caller?
I mean, no, I mean, I agree with some of what he said. I think, you know, I really think that, yeah, I mean, we really need to worry about the depth. I mean, that's really the biggest point. The biggest thing at this point is not to worry too much about, you know, who made it in the as a draft pick and who didn't make it, and really worry about who we got in here for depth at key positions like the offensive line. That's my 2 cents.
Exactly. I would say that's our only issue is offensive line. But you know what? But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get off these phone lines because I already know sometimes when people are talking, I'm like, man, get off the phone so I can tell Darian something, bro. So, anyways, you know, I got much love for you. Hey, Jay, shout out to you, brother. Hey, Samoan and all them. Shout out to all y'all. I love all you guys. Raider Pete will be at the Charger games Monday night in about 3-4 weeks or whatever it is. So, I love all y'all. Y'all stay up and go Raiders. Fuck the haters, baby.
Facts. We definitely thank you for calling in. We really do appreciate it, man.
Much love, man. I'll see you later.
All right.
Peace out.
All right, big homie. Later.
Another caller coming in. Say, thank you for calling the Spotlight Raiders Talk. Who is this and where you calling from? Hello? I guess they will call back. But we have some we that was he might
Las
be
Vegas Envy.
This might be him right here. Thank you for calling the Spotlight Raiders Talk. Who's this? Where you calling from?
Darian, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You can hear me now? What's going on, man? It's Vince from Las Vegas, bro. How y'all doing?
We doing good, man. We doing good. You know, how you feeling on this
Doing
Wednesday?
I'm feeling great, man. I just wanted to say, man, keep doing what you're doing. It's good to see that you're back. I heard that you was in COVID. I'm glad you're back on your feet, and I'm glad you're back podcasting.
I appreciate that, man. It was a struggle, but you know, I'm here. I'm blessed. I'm living, and that's just what that is, man.
Right. Well, this is a few things. I know when we call on here, I called on here a couple of times, and it's easy to get real scatterbrained. So while I was listening to the podcast, I wrote down a few points that I would talk about to kind of keep you, focused.
Okay,
so
that's fine.
I had a hot take, and I don't think people realize I'm sick of tired. I'm a big Carr fan, right? I'm sticking with my guns. I was out on him just for a little bit until last year. He played really good. I think he had his best year percentage-wise last year, And I did a hot take yesterday on my Facebook page, right? And me and my guys from work and all my other friends, we talk a lot of football. Football's coming up. My hot take was, I think Derek Carr is better than Josh Allen. Am I bugging? Do y'all think I'm tripping? I think Carr is way more accurate. He's good enough with his feet. Josh Allen, don't get me wrong. He started out slow, but he has improved every year. He's great with his legs, but I don't see the hype with that guy compared to Carr. And they got Carr. A lot of people are saying, well, Carr's not even top 10. I'm like, well, the top 12. I'm like, well, the Raiders were in the top 10 offense last year, and I just think that Carr doesn't get his just due, like, because he's a Raider, and it's because it's so easy to bash the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to know what y'all take. Am I bugging on this hot take, or is it even a hot take?
So before I answer this, somebody put in the chat, did you hear that Stephen A. Smith go off on Keyshawn Johnson saying Derek Carr is an elite quarterback? So Stephen A. went off on Keyshawn Johnson saying that Carr is an elite quarterback? No, I did not actually hear it. I definitely got to look that up on ESPN or something to see that actual segment. I got to see that. Josh Allen had 2 good years in the league. Don't get me wrong. He did. I just think that Josh Allen was built with a better team than Derek Carr was. That's why Josh Allen gets all the praise that he gets, because he has a better team around him to succeed. Now, at this time, Derek Carr, surprisingly, his team in 2016, I wasn't expecting us to go 12-4 with Derek Carr in that 20. That was a surprise year for us. Derek Carr never had a complete team. In his 8 years of being here, Derek Carr never had a top 15 defense. Never. I don't know if Jay agrees with me or not, but I mean,
here's my
Mariota. Look, Mariota is a great quarterback. He was nice. I liked him in Tennessee. It sucks that he lost his job. But in my opinion, I didn't mean to cut off Jay. Jay, I can't really hear you through the phone. I have my TV turned down. I'm not trying to cut you off, brother. But I'm gonna let you rock. But let me get this off real quick. I think Mariota is a great quarterback. Yeah, he did show up when we played Miami last year. He balled the hell out. I got to give it to him. But we didn't win the game at the end of the day. And I know you can't really put that on Mariota. You could put that on Gruden for the whack-ass play calling, for not going in the end zone and scoring. But, a loss is a loss. But Mariota, I'm great that he's on our bench. But he's always hurt. Right now, he hasn't shown us anything except for that one game. But I just think that Carr doesn't get his respect because he is a Raider, and it's easier for guys like these idiots on Pro Football Focus to bash the Raiders. And I feel like if you put a Carr on the Cowboys, where he's on a prime time level, you could see the talent, and he would bring a team like that to a Super Bowl. But go ahead, brother. I'm gonna let you rock. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you're good, man. So my opinion is this: Derek Carr is a good quarterback, and I will never ever say that Derek Carr is a bad quarterback. He's got arm strength, he's got accuracy. The guy, he'll make plays. In the clutch. My biggest issue with Derek Carr is that at some point along the way in the season, and I don't know if it's just because, of his injuries or what, but at some point in the season, it's just like he doesn't seem to have the edge anymore. I don't know why. I don't know what the answer is, but that's what frustrates me about Derek Carr is I want to see consistency from him throughout the season in making plays and winning games, period. Now, I agree he has not had a top defense at all the entire time. The closest thing to a good defense he had was in 2016. But he has not had a top 5 or a top 10 defense since he's played. So I totally get that. I think that maybe that might change things. Hopefully that'll change things and give him a little bit more, maybe he's getting into the mindset of like, what's the point if, every time I make a play, the defense goes out there and lets them score again. Like, I don't know, if that's what it is, but hopefully having an all around consistently good team in all facets of the game would change that. And we'll just have to see, but he's not a bad quarterback. I think he's a great quarterback. Honestly, it's just that I don't want him to give up. I feel like he gives up sometimes, and it frustrates me. That's all I got to say.
I don't know about the giving up part. I don't really know too much about the giving up part in that aspect. I just think John Gruden I think what frustrates me is John Gruden offense sets Carr up for failure in some instance when it comes to those big time plays. If you look at the offensive play calling, nothing is not really down deep to throw the ball deep. So the guy's a gunslinger. You got to let him throw the football down the field. Yeah. It's something that Gruden does not let Carr do. Yeah, that's why his completion percentage is so good. Is because of the short routes that Gruden have our receivers running. That's just in my opinion, that if Carr could get back to that MVP type of quarterback where you let him sling it and let him control the offense while he's on the field, Carr would be back to that. But I feel like John Gruden is holding Carr back since John Gruden's been here.
And I think that maybe that could have something to do with how he feels.
That I wrote down that I wanted to get to. I heard you guys earlier in the show was talking about Gruden, how I guess you guys were sick of Gruden last year. My whole thing about Gruden is I love Gruden. He is a player first type guy. He's a motivator. He fires us up, and it's hard to not like Gruden. And as far as his play calling, me personally, I'm a big Raider fan. You know, I'm born and raised here in Las Vegas, so it's awesome that they came here. But what my point of view of watching Gruden, I didn't see not one defense. Even when we played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year, I didn't really see even the Tampa Bay defense and the Indianapolis Colts defense, which are two really good defenses. I didn't really see an issue of us moving the ball up the field. I think Gruden's issue is in the red zone. That's all. I think he gets a little too complacent. I think, and a lot of it, like he just gets a little too complacent, a little too safe. But I can't really blame him. I can't put too much of blame on him because Jacobs kind of fizzled out near the goal line. When he his first rookie season, Jacobs was money when we lined up in the goal line and he was just rushing in, and he would score. I think he kind of fizzled out during the middle of the season, late to the end. I see you shaking your head. I know we can agree to disagree, but I really didn't see a defense to kind of stagnate us from moving that ball up and down that field, from getting not a touchback, but off kickoffs and stuff. I didn't really see an issue with that. And then as far as you guys wanting Carr to have the keys, which he is getting the keys to the offense, we see him making those adjustments on the line. But I think everybody wants to just see the Raiders spread this offense, and rightfully so, because we did draft Henry Ruggs, a 4-2 guy, speed. You do have Waller. You do have a Jacobs, and you have all these weapons placed around. But I honestly think Gruden, I think the Raiders and his direction of the offense is run first. And to be honest with you, I'm not mad at that. I'm really not mad at that. Run the ball. That's going to open up the offense. I understand you guys, you want to see bombs away. You want to see like how Green Bay is. But I don't see no problem with that. I think the only problem I have with Gruden is the red zone call. What's your take on that, Dan?
Yes, red zone has been an issue. I can agree with that. But what I have to disagree with you on, if you go back and look at that Patriots game, we couldn't move the ball on the Patriots. Look at that Falcons game. We couldn't move the ball in the Falcons game. We got blown out in those two games, which those two teams didn't really have great defenses, and we couldn't move the ball on them. So that's 2 games out of the majority of the year. Number 2, I understand this is a run-first offense, but sometimes in your playbook, you have to be unpredictable. And Gruden is predictable. Every first down, watch, when I do the live play-by-play and reactions of the Ravens game on Monday night, I would not be surprised the first 2 to 3 plays on offense is run. How should I know that as just a YouTuber? That means I already know how to defend you, because I already know that what's the scheme going to be like on first and second down. You're going to run the football. I understand it's run first. You want to give it to Josh Jacobs, cool, but sometimes you're going to have to open up your playbook. You're going to have to open it. Sometimes you can go in a shotgun and run a zone read with Josh Jacobs. That's what he ran in Alabama. That's what Drake ran in Alabama, was zone read. You can go to that. You got to play the player's strength. Josh Jacobs was a downhill runner in a zone read offense in Alabama. That's crazy to me. He was a downhill runner. You can see all the running backs that came out of Alabama. They played 90% of their 90% of their plays out of shotgun. The I formation is getting old in the NFL. You could use it in the red zone, yes, but on first down after a kickoff, and you know that you're going to run the ball to Jacobs on the first play, I shouldn't know that. I shouldn't know that. That's my only problem with John Gruden. He could be very conservative where we moving the football, right? We're moving the football. We get past the 50. And then he runs the ball on 3 downs. 3 downs. Why I understand first down, you run the ball. Second down, you can run a play action. If you on a shorter yardage situation, then you go back to your run. But don't make all 3 downs a running downs. That's predictable to me.
I understand. You did hit me back. You do make valid points with that Atlanta game, and you did make valid points. Well, the Patriots game, I watched that game. The first half, the Raiders was competitive. I think that was more about our defense, and that was more about Bryan Edwards because he was torching them, and then he got hurt after he made that big catch, and he got tackled awkwardly, which caused them to leave the rest of the game. After that, nobody else showed up. They kind of tightened up on Waller. He was kind of just a no-show at that point. I think that the first half of the New England game, it was back and forth. But yeah, as soon as Edwards went down, which he was torching these kids, and that kind of brings me to this other point that I wanted to get into with you two guys, is this new offense. Now, I'm hearing, I think we have one guy, I've been watching the show since it started today, and I think we have one guy that was just hating on it from the beginning of the show, talking about we were hit missing. The way I feel this, and I think, Jay, you said something about being skeptical about the season, and I'm excited, don't get me wrong. Come on, football's back, and, we're ready for Monday night, but I'm a little skeptical. We just let go of, John Brown asked to be released. I know Ruggs is in his second year, but he's still like a X factor. I don't know what I'm gonna get out of this kid. I'm actually excited for Bryan Edwards, but I really loved Aguilar. I wish we would have kept him. I don't know what this new offensive line is gonna bring us. He lost Rodney Hudson, and we lost a lot of good guys. Even though Trent didn't want to play with us, but we lost another a star tackle. We'll see what Colton does. Colton looks like he's a promising guy. But on the offensive side, I know Carr is hungry. I think Carr is hungry. I think he's itching. I think Waller's going to have a breakout year, like another standout year. Hopefully he takes it to an elite level. I think Jacobs is kind of hungry and determined to prove everyone that it's not no fluke, being that it's his third year. But I still can't really shake the feeling of us having a productive offense like we were last year. We were a top 10 offense last year. Do you think we can still be that top 10?
Which I can agree with a lot of people is time of possession. But when you're down, say if you're down, we're down 8. Why are we running the ball with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter? You get what I'm saying? That's stuff that John Gruden does. If we're down, and we're down 8 and we need to win the football game, why are we running the ball with 4 minutes or 3 minutes left in the game? It doesn't make sense. And John Gruden done that most of the time last year. It's situational. I'm not hating on John Gruden. It's just certain shit that he does. It's certain shit that he does. The Jets game,
there's certain decisions he makes that are just
decisions
frustrating.
that he makes. There's no way that you have Marcus Mariota at the goal line. There's no way you have Marcus Mariota at the goal line, right? And you don't run it with Mariota to score the game to win instead of kicking a field goal. That's my issue.
You make a valid point, brother.
That is my issue. Why would you do that? Are you playing to win or are you
Tyler,
playing
Tyler,
safe? And you knew and Gruden knew that he had the worst defense in football. He knew he had the worst defense in football. And you put it in the hands. You put it in the hands of your defense to kick a field goal, and we forced to go to overtime and put our defense back out on the field just to lose to Herbert. And look what they did to win the game. They ran the football with Herbert at the goal line. You know what I'm saying?
I understand your frustration, brother.
It's not about his play call. It's about his play calling, but it's what he is calling in those situations. So before you go, I know Jay has some things to say. So go ahead, brother.
Sorry. Yeah, I was just gonna say that I agree with you. I agree that, you know, John Gruden. I really feel like John Gruden is a great coach. I feel like he's a player's coach, and that he really motivates his players to play hard. And you know, obviously, given, you know, a few of them, like most of them have the last name Brown, unfortunately. And you know, but at the same time, you know, like you said, just situationally, just sometimes I'm just like, what? Why did you? Why this, like, that doesn't work, and we know it doesn't work, you know. And I think that a lot of it has to do with John Gruden's ego, and he just wants to be like, this is how I do things, and so I'm going to keep doing it until it works, and not really having, you know, having the flexibility to open up the playbook, but and be more innovative with the play calling. And I think that frustrates Carr a little bit. So maybe that's the answer to why Carr, you know, seems to at certain points in the season be like, all right, well, whatever. I'm just not even gonna, you know, I'm not gonna do what I was doing before. You know, so I really don't know where the disconnect is, but now there's no excuses. Like, this season is a prove-it season for all of them, for Derek Carr, for John Gruden, for Mike Mayock. You know, obviously, not Paul Gunther, our defensive coordinator. Dang it, I don't know why I can't remember his name all of a sudden. Obviously, it's not a prove-it year for him, but for the rest of them, it is. You don't have any excuses as to why you're not winning. Like, you've got to win, and you have to do it now.
Okay, so let me just, before you get back on, before you say what you have to say, and we get some more callers on, let me just say this to people about that. We need to run the ball first to open up everything else. I agree with that. But every possession that we come out on the football field, the defense is expecting us to run the ball. That's all I'm saying. Every possession that we come out on that football field after they punt the ball to us, when they run out on the field, I'm like, all right, John Gruden's going to run the ball on first down. You have to mix it up, because if their defense is expecting run, start with a play action. That's going to sink the linebackers in, because that's going to draw attention to Josh Jacobs. So you got to look at it from a scheme. If you know that John Gruden is going to run the ball on first and second downs, you can run the ball on the first, go play action second. You gotta sink those linebackers in. You know what I'm saying? So y'all gotta understand the philosophy of the game. Yes, running the football is great. It's good. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, if they are expecting to y'all to run the ball on the first down, and they already see it from the game film that happened last year or the game film from the previous game, you have to learn how to mix it up and do the unexpected. I'm a former offensive coordinator, so I know how to call plays. And even though it's not at the highest level as John Gruden, but if I was on the defensive side of the ball as a defensive coordinator, I would have put 8 in the box for John Gruden, because I know he's going to run on first down. So that's where you have to be the unexpected. I don't like to say this about other teams, but if you see a lot of teams that's in that top 5 category in offenses, because they optimistic, they're different. We have to be a little different on our side too. That's all I'm saying.
And Darian, I just want to commend you, brother, because that's why you do what you do. Now that you said all this, I'm seeing it from a different point of view, and I'm going to start paying attention, especially this upcoming Monday, to how Gruden is picking certain plays in certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so appreciate it. To you, brother. I just wanted to get in two more quick things, if you don't mind. I'm going to try to make them quick. Defense. One thing about this defense, anything from Paul Gunther, it's an upgrade. Anything but moving away from Paul Gunther is automatic upgrade. If you're asking me in my book, we added KJ Wright, which was big. Mad Max. Hopefully, I think Max might be on a tear. I'm just praying. He's been showing out. I think it's unexpected. Yeah, it's probably going to be more teams that's going to have to focus on him, and it's going to be interesting to see what he's going to do with this main focus. But then you got guys like Yannick Ngakoue. We'll see what Farrell is. Farrell looks very hungry because it seems like the Raider Nation is calling him a bust, and they kind of out for his head. I'm excited with Gus Bradley. He looks like he has these new young DBs motivated and segueing into week one. I think they have us I think I'm in Vegas, so betting is huge over here, obviously. They have us as 4.5 underdogs against the Ravens at home. I think, honestly, it's a trap game, really. I do see, just like the Saints game, when we played the Saints on Monday Night Football, we weren't the favorite to win that game. I think it's the same kind of situation, but I think our defense is going to lock in. It's hard to contain. It's easier said than done containing a Lamar Jackson. It's easier said than done. But what I think is going to happen, like you said, their running back, KJ Dobbins just went down for the year. And I still don't think Lamar has that receiver to kind of throw to. Yeah, he likes that tight end. Yeah, he likes, what's his name, Andrews, Mark Andrews. But he doesn't really have too many weapons to throw to, if you ask me. So I think the Raiders have a legit shot of winning game one. And that's all I wanted to get off. I know I don't want to be boring these other callers. I know you probably got a bunch of other callers on the line. But
yeah, I got like 6 missed calls. But I ain't going to be taking all these calls because I know we're already 2 hours in. So I'm going to take one more caller, then we're going to be done with the show. But before I let you go, they said J Dog had a $9.99 super chat. Shout out to Dexter Beats. He says we shored up we shored up all the areas of weaknesses with veterans. Offensive line, linebacker, secondary, and defensive line. At this point, we just need to see if they perform. Also, DC is elite. So, and another thing that J Dog says, we got all these running backs, but punt on 4th and 1. My point exactly. We got all these running backs that's bruisers, but punt on 4th and 1. Do you know what I'm saying? And it be on, sometimes it be on the other side of the 50, so I mean, you never know, but I do thank you for calling up. I really do appreciate that, man. I really do.
All right, brother. Y'all take care, man. Go Raiders.
All right, you too.
Yep. Peace out.
All right. And thank you for calling the Spotlight Raiders Talk. Who is this where you call it from? I got a feeling this is King Savage from New York. Can you hear me? Mic check. I don't know. Okay, so Lewis saying you have to play the field of position.
New York, 1.
Okay, I'm not going. That's why I try to call, answer before the number comes up. But let me guess.
Can you hear me?
Let me guess. Who this is where you call it from?
Nah, this is Alex. I'm calling from North Carolina, but I'm from New York. That's probably why you got tricked by that number.
Because I know King Savage. I think he live in New York too, if I'm not mistaken. But what's going on, Alex? What's up with you, man?
What's up, man? I was just going back and forth with you about your shirt because I just peeped it. I was like, does that say Baby Trent Brown?
Yes, it says Baby Trent Brown, and it has. I don't know if you can see it on the TV, but it has the actual baby
I can see it on the TV now.
And everything there. So it's Baby Trent Brown. I do have this shirt on our website. The link is in the description. So we do have the Baby Trent Brown shirt. So they said I look like Trent Brown. So that's why I did it.
Dope. Merch.
But what's
So,
up?
I wanted to bring up real quick. I wanted to bring up, what do you guys think about how comfortable John Gruden is? I heard Mike Mayock, I guess that was last week, Wednesday or Thursday, when he said, we're looking at the playoffs. He's very stern. I think he gives a great interview. And I thought he was very honest and transparent. The next day, I can't remember the full context of John Gruden's interview, but it was something like, well, I haven't heard anything from Mark, so, I don't feel any pressure to make the playoffs. It's like two different messages coming from within the front office. And Mayock, we know Mayock's line, head is on the chopping block simply because there's no pressure from the front office for Gruden to do better. And I'll be transparent. If you've seen any of the posts in the group that me and you share, Darian, I'm not a Gruden fan. I've never been a Gruden fan. I don't believe in him. I think he's a good mind. I think he can do some things, but I've never thought that he can build a team. We saw what he did for 7 years in Tampa Bay after Tony Dungy's player aged out or were free agents. He's never developed a young player with the exception of Aqib Talib in Tampa. So what was I going to think when he came in here with 5 first-round draft picks and maybe one if you like Josh Jacobs enough to give him a second contract, that you feel that he's done that warrants this hoopla or the spell that John Gruden has over Raider fans? That's where I'm stuck at.
Whew. You sound like Jay over there, because Jay would say the same thing. Jay would say the same thing, and listen. I understand the respect that John Gruden gets in the NFL. I respect it, but I have to agree he has not. This is I don't even know how to put this, man, because I like John Gruden. I think he's well respected in the league as considered a good coach. But you're absolutely right. He really hasn't developed his own draft picks. And I feel like Mike Mayock said this is the year that we have to make the playoffs. And then John Gruden says there's no pressure for him to make the playoffs. I think it's BS. Right. It's pressure. It's pressure. I definitely agree. It is pressure for you to make the playoffs, because if you don't get double-digit wins this year, you're on the hot seat. Sorry, you got to go. It's been 4 years. Understand you went from 4-12 to 7-9 to 8-8. The double-digit wins starts now. Because y'all didn't even give Jack Del Rio 4 years to develop this team. Y'all didn't even get him that. After he went 12-4 in 2016, he was out the door next year. He was out the door. Yep. He went 6-10 and he was out the door after going 12-4. You didn't even give this man to redeem himself from going 12-4, then going 6-10 to bouncing back. You didn't give him no chance. So I feel you on that. Crazy. I feel you on that. I believe it. Understand he got fired because he fired Musgrave. But as a business, don't you got to go through your owner and your GM to have that approved? If I'm not mistaken, he just can't fire Musgrave without going through his GM and his owner. So you really can't blame him for being fired. You got to blame the Raiders for Jack Del Rio being fired, because if Jack Del Rio wanted Musgrave out and Mark Davis and whoever I think Reggie McKenzie at the time was our GM, yep, you have to blame them as well. Right. So
total front office.
I agree.
Front office, and right now, yeah, it's crazy, man. I just felt like that was, again, like I said, I felt Mayock was being very transparent there, and then it was just a complete opposite messaging coming from Gruden. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think Gruden wants to lose. I know Gruden wants to win, so I'm not putting that on him. It's just that the messaging from what that I got from that, I was like, wait a minute, you don't feel any pressure, even if the front office isn't putting pressure. You should feel pressure with your quote unquote name in the balance of this John Gruden and the hype that comes along with you. You should feel pressure that, okay, I got to make a move here. I've got to do something to make this happen, to get us on the other side of 8-8, or rather, let's get to 10 wins this year.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, I have the Raiders right now. Just looking at the team and how it's going to go, I have the Raiders at 7-10. Now, of course, if the defense does what it's supposed to do and can really, I think the offense is good enough to give us 6 to 7 wins. But I think you're always going to need help from the defense, not to necessarily take a game, but to make a critical stop when they need to, or get a critical turnover. Not that they need to score or shut someone down for a whole game. No, in critical moments, you're going to need the defense just to do a couple of critical things that I think can flip 3 wins, the same way we would have had flipped 3 wins last year. You referenced the Dolphins game. I think you referenced the Chargers game, the Atlanta game. There's just certain critical moments that could have happened that really could have changed the fortunes of us last year. Coaching moments as well on offense, but then there's also some defensive lapses. So I won't put it on Gruden in that sense. But I think we're going to need help, because I get it. I don't know about the Chargers. They have a new coaching staff. I get it. People are in love with that QB, but we don't know with the new coaching staff. All I know about Denver Broncos, they're going to have a good defense. I don't know about anything else. They're going to have a good defense. We know that. So
if they can stay healthy too, you got to think about if they can stay healthy.
I agree. And Lord forbid if John Elway says bring in Cam Newton. He's not great, but there's enough there. There's enough that he can do some things with those weapons that they have there. But as we stand right now, I like our defensive chances to be better. I just don't know, what's going to happen on the offensive side. And we're counting on a lot of young players, as we should, because we drafted a lot of high draft picks between the first and third round on the offensive line, the offensive backfield, and as well as our offensive weapons. We know who Waller is. I always loved the trick of Brian Edwards. I always thought he was in the Terrell Owens, Brandon Marshall build to be that type of player. I wasn't happy about Henry Ruggs, but he's here. I want to see CeeDee Lamb. I'm pretty sure all of us had a different whether CeeDee Lamb.
That's who I wanted. I wanted CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, I didn't think everybody had Ruggs at the top, but we got him, and he is a weapon. We now need, and he does work hard. So I don't want to take anything away. So hopefully he's improved his get off and his strength, and we're going to see some things. And I'll close with that because I know you was trying to close out the show.
Yeah, so I do have a super chat here. Shout out to Jack Kenna for the $5 super chat. Says spotlight this super because you have a moderator and Jonathan. Tell him to go San Francisco Giants. Only respect. These guys in the chat are telling me is something, man. But people thinking that a lot of people is thinking that John Gruden is not on the hot seat after this year. If he wins less games. And I'm gonna let Jay go and say what he has to say in your response. If he has less wins than 8 wins this year, he's gone. He's gone. That's just my opinion on it. If he gets less than 8 wins this season, which I think he won't, I think we put a great team together. But if we get less than 8 wins, John Gruden is gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. So, speaking to what both of you said, when it comes to Jack Del Rio being fired, John Gruden being brought in, so everybody knows, or everybody should know, Mark Davis is not a football guy. Mark Davis is a businessman. He's never claimed to be a football guy. He's not his father by any means at all. And so he's always said, I leave football up to the football guys, right? So what happened is Jack Del Rio made a mistake that Mark Davis said, you do what you got to do. Jack Del Rio made a mistake. Mark Davis had an opportunity to bring in John Gruden, which he's wanted to do for a long time, because John Gruden has a big old friggin', dollar sign on him. Anywhere he goes, money's going to go just because of his clout and his history in the NFL. So he brought in John Gruden because that's what he wanted to do. Now, when it comes to them being on the hot seat or being on the chopping block, they absolutely should be. But to speak to somebody in the chat, and I can't remember who it was, somebody in the chat said, you got to give, John Gruden, right here. You can't take shots at John Gruden without crediting him also. And that's true because this offense hasn't been bad. At certain points, we've been a top 10 offense. But what John Gruden needs and what John Gruden has needed is a good defense. So if this season, because he's brought in a proven defensive coordinator who should do a good job, if this defense isn't where it's supposed to be and the offense struggles because of it and we lose games because of it, that's where we're going to have to be like, okay, you're obviously not getting the job done, John, because you're not bringing in somebody who can make this defense at least a top 10 defense, top 15, like just not number 26, 27, 28. Come on. There's definitely opportunity in this season if this defense is good enough that everything should be turned around.
New York 1-646-483-796.
I don't know what happened to him. I guess he's probably calling back.
Because the offense is good enough to win games and to be a contender in the playoffs. It's just the way it is. It just without. There's so many times where John Gruden was in a situation where he had to make a call, and it was because the defense wasn't good enough, and he made the wrong call. And the more that you can alleviate having to make those big time calls, the less mistakes that you're going to make, because that's just, mistakes are going to happen. And so that's just math. Like, if you have to make a decision 10 times, you're going to make 5 mistakes. Well, if you only have to make that decision 5 times, you're only going to make 3.5. You know what I mean? That's just math. So that's what really has to happen, is the defense has to improve, and it has to happen this year, or these guys, we got to figure out who else can do the job better.
Sorry, so who is this calling from this number here? I don't know if you can hear me. Is this Alex?
What's going on, Spotlight? Nah, this is Richard.
All right, so I don't know what happened to Alex, but thank you, Alex, for calling up to the show. We really do appreciate that, brother. Thank you for calling up and letting us know. I don't know if your phone died or anything of that nature, but thank you for calling up. But this is the last caller. What's going on, Richard? What's up with you?
What's going on, Mr. Spotlight? I did talk to you the day of the cut, and then my phone did cut out. But anyway, going back to you, who's the better quarterback, Derek Carr or Rich Gannon?
Is this really a question right now?
No, I'm just going to test. I'm just going to show you the difference between Rich Gannon and Derek Carr.
Well, I mean, it really depends. It really is. It still has to be proven. It still has to be proven. I mean, understand stats wise, yes, you're going to say you're going to say Carr. Stats wise, because he's I think he's an all-time leading passer for the Raiders right now, if I'm not mistaken, for Derek Carr. But if you want to talk about winning playoff games and going to the Super Bowl, it's Rich Gannon.
Okay, and that's my point about Derek Carr. He doesn't have that it factor. He doesn't. He's not hungry. And to me, I think we went and got Marcus Mariota and even paid him less, because last year we gave him $8 million. Not we, but gave him $8 million. But if he balled out, he could have made up to $18 million. That's why, even though Derek Carr was hurt, they were scared to keep Marcus Mariota in there for the rest of the season, because he was going to outdo Derek Carr.
I disagree.
No.
I disagree, and I'm gonna tell you why real quick. Because Derek Carr got hurt in that game. The Chargers was not prepared for Marcus Mariota. That Chargers defense was not prepared. Now, if that defense was prepared for Marcus Mariota, and then he had to go play next week against a defense that prepared for him, look, this is why Marcus Mariota struggled in Tennessee. Because when he was a starter, he couldn't get the job done. Why do you think he's a backup? No matter where he goes right now, Marcus Mariota is going to be a backup, because damn near every team in the NFL has a quarterback that they want. So in that situation, yeah, Mariota looked good in that Chargers game, but the Chargers defense was not prepared. And then if he played next week, Who did we play after the Chargers? Who did we play after that, Jay?
I think Miami.
Yeah, I think it was Miami. What team did we play after that Chargers game at home?
Last season?
It was Miami.
Yeah, last season.
I think it was Miami.
And Miami was a top 10 defense at that time.
Yeah.
Marcus Mariota was not going to do great against that defense. I just don't see that happening.
No, you can't say that because, but at the same time, in the red zone, who would you trust with the ball? Derek Carr or Marcus Mariota?
Either.
Neither. Wow.
And only reason why I say that because of John Gruden's play calling. That's why. Neither.
But see now, listen. The thing that makes a difference between Rich Gannon and Derek Carr is that Derek Carr is like John Gruden's puppet. Rich Gannon could care less what damn call John Gruden made. If it didn't look right, he was going to check the hell out of that.
But you got to think about that. You got to think about the era of football as well. The NFL has gotten soft. A lot of players can't speak up the way they want to speak up like they did back then, back in 2002. You can't really make the comparison of Carr and Gannon because, mind you, the level of play when Gannon was playing, a lot of defense was allowed to do a lot of shit. Listen, just hear me out. A lot of defenses was allowed to do with a lot of things you can't do in the NFL. You can't taunt. You can't hit the quarterback a certain way. You can't go low blow on the quarterback. You can't taunt. You can't hold on to people. None of that. It was more aggressive in the era that Rich Gannon played. But when
Derek Carr wasn't fast back then.
But we not. But at the end of the day, we got to go with a Derek Carr, and we got to play within the rule that the NFL has changed.
All right,
so you got to think of it as an era thing too.
All right, Spotlight. Write down my phone number because I'm willing to bet you whatever you want to bet.
I don't bet
that when we get. All right, no, I'm just saying, like even a T-shirt. I don't care what it is, a Raider hat or push-ups, 5 push-ups. It don't always have to be money. So what I'm saying to you is that I guarantee you in the red zone, if Derek Carr messes up 1 or 2 times, John Gruden is pulling his ass out, and he's gonna go shotgun with Marcus Mariota down there to put up points because I
got a question for you though. Why would you go with would you go with a Marcus Mariota that's 90% injured since he's been with the Raiders? He's been injured. He's been injured 90% of the time since he's been here. So why would you go with a Mariota that couldn't play in the preseason? And I doubt it if he plays in the regular season. I doubt it.
Because I think that they just holding on to him the way that they was holding on to Derek Carr throughout the preseason and Josh Jacobs. They didn't want Marcus to go out there and get banged up.
Marcus Mariota was on the injury reserve list in the preseason. Carr wasn't.
I understand that.
And he had a quad injury. He had a quad injury. So what are we saying here?
Again, stop. I can guarantee you now, especially against Baltimore Ravens, because Derek Carr struggles against fast-hitting linebackers. Atlanta Falcons offense wasn't all that. Their defense is not all that. But they got fast linebackers, Deion Jones and the other boy. Deion Jones runs a 4.3. Derek Carr is scared of that shit. Derek Carr is scared of fast linebackers. So in that Pittsburgh game and in that Baltimore game, Derek Carr gonna play scary.
Do you know the philosophy of playing quarterback? Do you know the philosophy of it? Because if you look at it, if you don't have an offensive line that could block for you, and this is for any quarterback, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, any of these top 5 quarterbacks that you name, and you can look at it from the Super Bowl. If you don't have an offensive line, you won't win. So if that's the case, if we talking about a Derek Carr that didn't have the protection in those 2 games, We're going to put it on him. But I bet you if Patrick Mahomes, when he lost the Super Bowl last year with no offensive line, oh, it's okay. He's going to be back next year. Y'all got to pick. Y'all got to pick. Why you think? Listen. Patrick Mahomes and that. Listen. Hear me out. Patrick Mahomes, right? They went out and addressed their offensive line. So did we. We addressed the offensive line too. But in those 2 games that you're saying against the Patriots and the Falcons, we did not block. We did not play defense. We did not do nothing all 3 phases of the game. Special teams, offense, and defense. So how can we just blame Carr? How?
Again, and that Miami Dolphins game, just the Miami Dolphins game alone, the first quarter, the first 3 drives, we was in the red zone and we kicked 3 straight field goals.
And whose fault is that? That's not Carr.
Derek Carr.
That's not Carr.
Derek Carr's fault.
That's not Carr. I'm going to tell you why it's not Carr. Let me tell you why it's not Carr. Because if we have 3 possessions in the red zone, right? And if we're down against Miami, should we go for it? Yes. We should go for it. And Gruden decided to kick 3 field goals. So that's on the coach. It's not on Carr. Carr probably wanted to go out there, let's score.
The Miami Dolphins
it's the play calling.
Is when the Miami Dolphins game is when a different coordinator got fired, and then the other one stepped up. The older guy stepped up, and the defense was balling in that Miami Dolphins game. They only screwed up in the last couple of minutes in the fourth quarter, and then that bonehead stupid call, stupid penalty in overtime. But the defense was balling. The defense was balling so hard that they took out the quarterback and brought in the other quarterback.
So let me finish this off. Let me finish this off here, and I'm gonna let Jay say what he say, and then we're gonna end the show.
Okay.
That Dolphins game, we were up, and they came back. Right or wrong, Jay? Were we up, and they came back, and who gave that game away? The defense gave that game away. Derek Carr fumbled, yes, but we were up in that game. That defense could not do nothing for us in that game. They made Ryan Fitzpatrick look like Aaron Rodgers out there. He had 300 passing yards on us, damn near.
In the second half of the game.
That's not that's just the game in general, not the second half. It's just the game.
That. But my thing was that you had a chance to go up in the first quarter, the first 3 drives, and you get all the way down there, and now you just can't. Derek Carr, you just can't run your ass in there for 3 yards or 5 yards. Marcus Mariota did it against the Chargers.
No, he did not. They kicked a field goal.
Yes,
they kicked a field goal to go into overtime. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about during the game. I'm not.
It doesn't matter. Mariota still lost the game. He lost the game. He threw a pick in the fourth quarter. Mariota, everybody forgets that Mariota threw a pick in the fourth quarter. Everybody forgets that.
No, we don't forget that. But at the same time, he threw a pick. Marcus Mariota was the one who walked him down and tackled him, and that they only kicked the field goal.
It doesn't matter. He didn't win the game. He didn't win the game. Listen, you can say whatever you want of what Mariota did. You think
that Derek Carr throws a pick and then he runs down the damn linebacker and tackles him? He's just gonna look at him. He ain't gonna try to even go get him.
Why would you put your quarterback in that jeopardy? Number one, Mariota's a stupid quarterback anyway because he's been hurt his whole career since his rookie year, even coming out of Oregon. He's an injury pro, so yeah. If I'm Mariota, I'm gonna get hurt too and just tackle somebody that's going to get me injured. Okay, great, cool.
All right, Spotlight. I'm letting you know now. When Marcus Mariota starts balling out for us in that damn red zone. And when I call you, the only thing I'm going to say is, I told you. You could
look at John Gruden before you look at Carr. Because that's who Carr plays for. That's who Carr plays for.
I understand that. And I know that they're not renewing Derek Carr's contract this year because John Gruden's looking for a scapegoat, and it ain't going to be him. And his scapegoat's going to be Derek Carr and Mike Mayock. He's going to say both of them ain't doing their thing.
All right.
He ain't giving me the players I want, and Derek Carr can't go to the playoffs with me.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
All right. No problem,
Derek
man.
Carr, if Derek Carr don't win, it ain't just about going to the playoffs. It's about going and winning 2 games in the playoffs at least. If Derek Carr can't do that, John Gruden's going to tell Mark Davis, I can't win with him. I can't win with him.
If that's the case, then he should have did that years ago. But thank you for calling up. We really do appreciate it. And we gonna have to, because we gonna have to end the social, man.
No.
Yes.
Listen, come on down to Georgia one day, and then we could go to one of these big time restaurants, Papa Do's or something like that. It's on me though. It'll be on me.
All right, man.
It will be on me. Take care of yourself, man.
All right.
All right, peace out.
I didn't get a chance for you to respond, bro, because I don't know what the heck. Listen, shout out to him. Richard, shout out to you, brother, but your narrative was completely, I don't know. Jay, I'm going to just let you respond to all of that, and then we go head out, man.
Yeah, I'll keep it real brief. You know, Marcus Mariota is a, like I said, you know, he could be a starter, but he's a really good backup. We need to keep him on the roster for that purpose if he's willing to play the game and get paid to be a backup. In case of emergency break glass, you know, we have a backup who can play the game well. I still think Mariota can play. I think given the right situation, I think comparing him to Derek Carr is they have 2 different playing styles. You know, they do different things and they have a different set of skills. But I don't think it's fair to say at this point, I don't think it's fair. And I've been very critical of Derek Carr, but I don't think logically it's fair to say that he is the reason why we're losing games until we get a better defense. And if we get a better defense and he still makes boneheaded plays and does things and we lose games because he's not doing the job, then yeah, absolutely. You know, that we put Derek Carr on the chop block. But like I said, there's no excuses this year. It has to happen. If it doesn't happen, there's going to be some serious repercussions come the end of the season because Mark Davis he's got to come through, you know, for the city of Las Vegas and everybody that's invested in that stadium, you know, and all the people that, you know, all the fan base and everything. Like you know, making this move to Vegas and leaving Oakland. I mean, he's got to put up or shut up at this point, and so it's going to be crazy. But I don't think it's fair to say yet that Derek Carr is the problem. I've said it before because I get frustrated with him because of his, like I said, I feel like at a certain point he just like a switch gets turned off and all of a sudden it's like, what are you doing? Like, why aren't you playing the game? But it's not fair to say that it's his fault because there could be there's contributing factors still, which mainly is the defense and some of the decisions that I think John Gruden makes.
So for this guy right here says, why am I repping anything Trent Brown? Because they say I look like Trent Brown. Okay? So baby Trent Brown. Sorry to say, but that's what they say. They say I look like Trent Brown. And I don't really care for the player, but they say I look like him. So that's why I had the logo. Thank you for the view, though. Appreciate it. Say what?
I just said you're a lot smaller. So
yeah, I'm a lot smaller than him too. Absolutely. But this was a great show, man. I know I could be overboard with the calls and stuff of that nature because I know we almost 2.5 hours in. Is there any closing things you want to say before we head out?
I just want to say I'm excited to be back. The season starting again. I'm excited to see what's going on. Make sure you go check out my YouTube channel, My City, My Game. You know, we're both, me and Darian, both part of the Spotlight Sports Network. So make sure you go subscribe and like and hit the bell for notifications on all the channels because it all has content, different content, some of the same content, but show us all some support and love. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe to multiple channels. I appreciate all y'all. Thank you for having me on. Even if we don't agree, we're still Raider Nation. We're still a brotherhood and a sisterhood. We still got to stick together as a fan base supporting this group of players and this team. So,
make sure y'all go, subscribe to My City, My Game. If you try to search it, I am going to put it in my community post, your YouTube link, so they can subscribe to you, because I didn't get a chance to do it in the chat today. Terrence wasn't here in the chat today. I was kind of surprised. I don't know if he's in other live streams and stuff like that, but shout out to all the people in the chat. We had almost up to 150 people in the chat today. That was lit in itself. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and his channel, My City, My Game. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the show. I will be back Friday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with I think it's TTB Media. They will be on with us to talk about the actual predictions for the Ravens and the Raiders game Monday Night Football. I will be live play-by-play and reactions. I think you're going to be here too for that on Monday, right?
Yeah, Monday night. Yep.
Yeah. So Raider J is going to be here Monday night. Hammer's going to be here Monday night. So we're going back to our trio of live play-by-play and reactions. Y'all don't want to miss it, y'all. So have a blessed night. Make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe. It's the Spotlight Raiders Talk. We see y'all later. And peace out, love, and blessings here.
Welcome to the My City, My Game pod show featuring Raider J77, your place for all things Raiders and all things Trailblazers. Brought to you by the Spotlight Sports Network. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Now let's go.
Once a Raider, bruh, always a Raider, bruh. Shit, simple as that. You look silver and black. Lot of bread invested in that O-line. Car insurance cost the arm and the leg.